It's December 31st, 2024. Soon to be Happy New Year, but for now, it's New Year's Eve, and let's get in the weeds. I feel very off my game. We've had some time off. We've taken some time off. We've been off for a week. Jeremy went away. I went away. I didn't go away. I'm just here running around like a crazy. Wait, what are you doing here?
Me?
Yeah, who invited you?
Jeremy?
That's not true. Let's not spread misinformation on this show.
Yeah, we're not spreading. Although sometimes
I've done that already.
Sometimes that gets you, moving up the card. So who knows?
You're right. Listen, Jeremy texted me, and then I had already planned on crashing in the weeds because I just wanted, to bother you so much, Joel. And I just thought it was so fitting that my last pod would be here on Fightful Overbooked on In the Weeds with my favorite people.
My last pod, my foot. You're going to show up on the Ring of Honor post show again.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's true, though. She's going to show up on Thursday.
I'm not. Mm-hmm. I might cancel my Honor Club subscription. I was thinking about this. But I feel like that'd be a disservice.
They're going to be down to like 2 people. SP3 and Kate. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. What are they going to do then? They won't be fiscally solvent anymore.
Listen, Final Battle happened and TV happened last week. Last week on Honor Ramble, we didn't even talk about the episode. We just talked about me. Nyla Rose crashed. It's horrible.
Former Ring of Honor champion Nyla Rose?
That's not true.
You never held the Ring of Honor title.
I know. I'm talking about Nyla Rose showing up on an Honor Ramble show.
Because it was my retirement episode. So she was making fun of me.
She's been on. She's wrestled. Yeah,
she wrestled Athena in the first ever women's 2 out of 3 falls tables match.
There you go.
Okay. Still. Why?
I don't know.
Did any actual Ring of Honor stars show up? She has wrestled 13 matches. Nyla Rose.
That's more. You get a title shot for way less than that. So.
Well, she got one of those title matches. So actually, she's got 7. She's basically okay. So 13 matches. On her 7th match, she got that 2 out of 3 falls table match. She's up to another 7. So technically, Nyla Rose should be getting another title shot.
There you go.
Our champs in Japan.
Doesn't have to be. Nyla Rose can go to Japan.
She wanted to. And then she was like, oh my God, I want to go to Wrestle Dream. And I DM'd her and I'm like, it's Wrestle Dynasty. She goes, oh my God, I didn't realize. I was like,
she can go to Wrestle Dream as well,
I'm sure there's like some Japanese promotion that's having a Wrestle Dream show the same weekend. There's like a billion promotions putting on shows that weekend.
That is true. Do you plan on watching any of them? I might watch Wrestle Dynasty. I don't know yet.
Jeremy will be. I will probably catch the dregs.
Yeah, I'll be up pretty much all weekend. It's busy weekend because we got Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, which actually starts like at a decent hour. It starts at like 11 o'clock on Saturday night, so not terrible. Yeah. And then it won't end until 4 because it's got to be a 5-hour show. And then New Year Dash and Netflix Raw debut. So yeah, it's a busy 3-day period for me, but I'll be fine. I'm used to it.
You're gonna do great, Jeremy.
Oh, I already know that. I don't need your praise. I already know I'm really good at what I do.
You are, even though you write on Fightful that I'm Chris Jericho's biggest fan, which is a lie.
Why? She's not wrong. It's true. Ryan Lambert's in the chat saying Kimmy about to discuss what Jericho has planned for 2025. And also Matthew Hooks pointing out that, you're as retired as Chris Jericho. Makes sense. That's your best friend.
Has he ever announced he was going to retire?
Nah, Chris Jericho's never going to retire. It's fantastic. Hope he never does retire. Why should he?
He's going to be the next owner of Ring of Honor.
Ooh, should you imagine?
That would be horrible. I wouldn't like that.
It'll be his retirement present from Tony Khan.
Why is that horrible?
What is he going to do with the company? What is he doing now for the company?
Well, there you go. Making it into a multi-million-dollar super show.
He's showing up on television. That's something, right?
He's selling out the Hammerstein Ballroom.
That's
it was not sold out.
Wow.
It was not sold out for Friday.
Yeah.
Oh my god, wait, I told that person that, by the way. I was like, Joel is yelling at me because of this. They thought it was very funny.
Yeah, because there's one thing I'm going to do is yell about professional wrestling.
We got a lot to yell about today. There's a whole lot to yell about today.
Do we? All I want to yell about is leaving a thumbs up on the video. You haven't done that already. What's wrong with you? Come on, get on it. Give me your thumbs up. Give me your likes, and also subscribe to the channel because we would like to be moving towards higher goals over the next year. And you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. It's good luck to give us all of your money before the end of the year. That is an old proverb. From where? I don't know. You pick where it came from. That's where it came from. Yeah, some people like it's an old Chinese proverb. It's an old Hebrew proverb. I'm not going to tell you where it came from. You all can just go look it up. Give us all your money before the end of the year. Donate to charity.
Is there projectives?
I don't know where you're going with this. I know you're like adjectives, pro adjectives. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pro adverbs. I've noticed that a lot of Americans don't use adverbs.
Yeah, Americans are dumb. That's why.
It's very strange. Americans, use your adverbs. ly at the end of a sentence as a suffix is okay. You can do it. It works.
I add verbs to everything.
Anyway. So
I was signing on for a grammar lesson.
Kimmy, what are you doing for New Year's Eve? You're the child here. Can you go to the bar legally?
She says.
Nothing.
I can. No, my best friend is going to see Pitbull in concert. And I was
Chris Jericho want a duet with Pitbull in concert?
Honestly, makes sense. Mr. 305, I get it.
No, my actual non-wrestling best friend is going to Pitbull. I was like, damn, where was my invite? So yeah, my dad wants to watch Penn State versus Boise State, so we didn't make any plans because he wants to watch that game.
Are you sure this game is happening this time? Because I know
it actually is. This one I will.
Because I heard it 20 times in the last 20 minutes. It was like, oh my god, the game, and I was like, I don't care. I don't have a fake ID. I've never had a fake ID. That's why I couldn't drink when I was in Nashville for SummerSlam and StarCast, because it was 2 weeks before my 21st birthday and I couldn't go down Broadway Street because I was not legal.
Maybe you should. Oh, I love this. That's just Pitbull versus Jerry Lynn. That's all that is. By the way, Kimmy, you've definitely had a fake ID in your life. Don't lie to the people.
No, I didn't. I swear. I've never had a fake ID. I was a good child.
Jeremy, did you ever have a fake ID growing up?
No, I did not.
The statute of limitations is passed. You don't have to lie about it.
No, I wouldn't.
Fair.
I don't care about I'm not gonna lie about something like this.
Sure, all of a sudden your mom calls and be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Does this mean Joel had a fake ID?
I did. His name was Jeremy, not that one, not the one next to me. Yeah, his name was Jeremy. I'm not going to dox him, but he was French because I grew up in Ottawa. Where
my name is Jeremy.
He's Quebecois French. It's different. But anyway,
what is a Quebecois?
Quebecois. He's from Quebec.
Quebecois?
Yeah. Anyway, so he's Quebecois, and he gave me his G1 license at the time. I looked enough like him.
How many people did you have to defeat to get that?
Only one. And the only reason I really needed it, the only reason I needed to get that G1 and get to the final was because I was trying to go see Motorhead at a 19 plus show. And I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's all. And I was 18 at the time. I was just trying to go see Motorhead, and I had front row, floor tickets. And I was like, I'm not missing Motorhead just because it's 19 plus. So I had my fake ID, got in, saw Motorhead. And my first time at a metal show, I am up against the guardrail being pushed on, and I have the next day bruises in a T shape because I'm being pushed against the cross section of a barricade, and that shit hurt.
That's
you should have fought back, Joel.
Joel.
I should have, but I was also trying to take photos and be a fan and enjoy the music and be in front of Lemmy, which was hilarious.
Yeah, Mark. From music.
Wow. Your music, Mark.
I was just, I was just earlier before we got on. I was actually, I was reading a book to my kid. It was called Heavy Metal Badger. It's a very cute.
This
book.
Sounds what? What are you doing to this child?
Everything I can. No, we went to the library this morning. It was fantastic. We took home Heavy Metal Badger. We do that a lot. We do a lot of library trips. But yeah, we got Heavy Metal Badger. It's a very good book.
Is that a kid's book?
Yeah, it's a
Does
kid's
the
book.
Badger play music?
Yeah, so the Badger's a singer, and like he can't figure out his voice, so to speak. So he goes and takes music lessons, and he does choir lessons, but he's too loud. He does recorder lessons, but it's not for him. He tries all these different things, and then he finds like a post on a tree stump of a heavy metal band looking for a singer. So he goes and he auditions and he makes the band, and everyone's like super excited for him. So Heavy Metal Badger, it's a great book. SP3's in the chat. Read it to your kids. Jeremy, you got 1,500 kids. Go get the book. Read it to the kids.
I can't read.
I thought it was.
They send me. They send me to kindergarten because I can't read. So I'm not able to read.
Back to school.
All right, we actually got like a lot of wrestling to talk about. I'm kind of excited. Don't ask why. Like I'm kind of excited.
We haven't talked about it. We've been off with no outlets upon which.
Joel was running from the grind this weekend, everybody. I told him, you can do a show on Friday. You can do a show on Monday. He's like, no, I don't feel like doing all that. So that was not on me. I was not running from the grind.
I was running after a toddler is what I was doing. Thank you.
I just hit that kid with a fridge door, knock him out for a little while, do a show.
Did it once. Turned out he was smarter for it.
So keep doing it. It's like the SpongeBob meme. You keep hitting Squidward in the face and he gets more beautiful.
Yeah, he got more beautiful as time went on.
My kid's beautiful enough. It's fine.
I'm not smart enough, apparently, because he needs to be hit with fridge door.
Oh, it is what it is.
He's got to read Heavy Metal Badger.
It's a great book. Go read the book. We'll open up just with this because it just dropped. AJ Francis has re-signed with TNA Wrestling. So there's your TNA talk for this week. AJ, of course, there was talk about his free agency, what he was going to do. He is staying put. He's staying with TNA. SI got that one, and I'm sure there'll be more re-signings with TNA in the near future, but good spot for him. Happy. He's had a good spot with TNA. He's doing well. Hope he continues to come up with ideas for that company because he actually is pretty smart with this stuff. So good for AJ. Don't know if you guys have anything to add before we get into everything else.
Still won't battle rap me. He's a coward.
Yeah, we should. That's why they didn't give us the scoop.
Yeah.
They gave us
among many reasons.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, but the articles are coming out now. It's okay. We got the notes on Select. But that's why is because we probably would have had the caveat of him battle rapping Jeremy, and he would have lost. And on his big, re-signing tour conversation announcement, he would have looked like a big old bitch.
Damn.
They would have signed me instead.
Would you accept the deal?
It depends on how much they're paying, brother.
But Jeremy, you would have been first class.
You'll be working with Casey Navarro. That's actually pretty sweet.
I do like Casey. Yeah, I do like Casey Navarro. Good dude.
Oh, this is him from the ITW Anonymous General Manager. That book sounds awesome.
What does she know?
Plenty.
She married me. She's not the smartest person in the world. Okay,
That's
love
fair.
her. But,
she's great.
Oh, here's some news from Luis Pulido.
Uh-oh.
There's huge news. Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. says he will be a free agent on July 2nd. CMLL talk, maybe AAA. I don't know who he's for.
Where is Dr. Wagner Jr.'s kid?
Medical.
They're AAA. Aren't they AAA? But like America or like Mexico contracts don't really exist.
Medical practice.
Good for them. Good for them. Where do we want to start? There was a pay-per-view. There was the last ever Raw on USA on cable television. There's
the last Rampage, I think.
The last Rampage.
Is she gonna be here the whole time?
No, she really doesn't. Can you what are we doing here?
I don't know.
You want to put over Matt Cardona one more time before you go?
No.
You want to put over Chris Jericho then one time before you go off to the sunset, right to the ether? Jada Kimmy.
I would just like to point out, Jeremy was like, "Oh, I would be so honored if we had you on in the week." Now they're kicking me out after 15 minutes. The hell is this?
Oh, I spent 15 minutes with you? That's too many.
I only said honored because I could make an ROH and Chris Jericho joke out of it.
Wow, I want to talk about World's End, but I guess not.
Do you want to talk about World's End?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were asking me. I would have been like, nope, next. Listen, what do you want me to tell you? The show was fine. There were some good things and some not so good things. I'm curious as to how Fight for the Fallen plays out and what happens when Kenny Omega comes back from Japan and everyone asks, wait, where was he since World's End? Because they couldn't be asked enough to say that he's got a match at Wrestling Dynasty.
I thought I was the only person who caught that, and I was like, why is no one like following this, that he's wrestling at Wrestle Dynasty? I mean, I enjoyed the fact that Swerve came to Florida, appeared on the paper just to throw toilet paper at Ricochet.
You know why they didn't mention Kenny's match at Wrestle Dynasty? Truthfully, right? This is a shoot, brother. Because they don't want to say Gabe Kidd's name on AEW television. They'll have him wrestle on ROH or whatever. They don't want Gabe Kidd talking all that mess. They don't want to mention Gabe on AEW TV. That's the real reason. That's a shoot.
So you let it on my brand?
Yeah, because I mean, who cares?
I love this, getting the Yano AEW treatment. Oh, that was the one thing that I put that out there and people were just like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, that's pretty well done. But anyway.
It was hilarious that they didn't mention that match at all. They're just like, Kenny's back. Oh my God. He's confronting Okada. Oh my God. That should have closed the show.
So I agree with you.
Okay. Go ahead, Joel. Go ahead.
I've seen that conversation and like,
yeah.
So like, I agree with it to a certain degree.
Okay.
But like, similar to New Japan, this is still the company that values its world title as the main event.
And they're holding it in a briefcase. They don't value this title.
I get it. The idea of the title, or whoever has all the power, is the champion. That's the thing. I get it. And that's why I'm like, they've done it, twice has the world championship not been the main event on an AEW pay-per-view. So like, yeah, you could have made the Continental Classic as good as it was. This match could have been the last match on. But also, how quickly are they getting to Okada and Kenny? And how quickly are they going to make that a thing beyond just the interaction at World's End?
I think they're wrestling at Texas.
Okay, that's 7 months from now. Meanwhile, whatever's going on with Copeland is like, that's immediate. And listen, I know like there are a lot of people, myself included, who are looking at Adam Copeland and being like, you're 51. You keep telling us that. But on top of that, you want to go for the world title, and there's Christian, and and blah blah blah. It feels like we're just waiting for Darby, especially after you murked him on Rampage. But the idea here is like we're going straight to Copeland because Copeland we can go right to, whereas whatever we're doing with Kenny feels like we're waiting to get there. So this was like the introduction, whereas this quote unquote hot angle of the return of FTR with Adam Copeland is like the now. So that's the only reasoning why I'm like, that's why you closed with it. But I fully understand why you would have gone with the Kenny Omega return and the Continental Classic matches as your main event.
I just want to know if Copeland's going to go after the TNT title and Danny, because he never lost that title.
He doesn't care about that title. He already beat Garcia anyway, didn't he? Oh, Christian beat Garcia. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure they
no,
have a match.
No, they did.
Yeah,
Copeland and Garcia did beat Danny.
Oh, okay. Tried to give Garcia the benefit of the doubt that he didn't lose to both of them, but he did. Sorry, Danny.
It's the
that interaction was so stupid, by the way. Mark Briscoe's like, yeah, I think we should fight.
I agree with you.
And Garcia's like, I don't know about that. Like, what? What do you mean you don't know about that? And then Tony Khan just makes the match anyway.
You know what? The Copeland match was actually a no contest against Garcia.
There you go. So I didn't beat him.
There you go. You could do that. But also it feels like a little backwards considering Copeland is now like, I'm going to go for the world title and save the company. Why are you saving the company? Because you killed Darby. That's a good point.
Darby's very busy training to climb Mount Everest if he is able to survive that one.
What do you think his training involves? Like, is he just sliding downstairs and like, what are we doing here?
Isn't it like you need You need like to learn how to like use like oxygen and stuff. I think that's what it is. Because aren't you carrying? Am I like dumb?
No, there's a lot of carrying. Listen, when I think about Darby Allin planning for an Everest trip, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about Darby Allin, the wrestler, being the dumbass that he is. And I mean that like with like the most respect. Like you watch him get thrown around and basically ragdolled all the time. Like I think about that idiot going to go for wrestling. I don't think about the guy trying to climb Mount Everest.
Okay.
Making history.
Let me tell you about this Copeland nonsense. I get your point. Sure. Oh, because they're setting up the 6-man on Wednesday, so Copeland's got to close. Omega and Okada's not for months. I've already been branded as an Adam Copeland hater. It's just
Can't
part
confirm.
of my I don't need this dude in the title picture. I think it's uninspiring that Adam Copeland and FTR and Christian are in this title picture when you have guys like Swerve and Hangman and Will Ospreay who should be like actually fighting for the title, not Hangman doing this. Oh, I'm an idiot because I'm arguing with Jay White and I've lost to Jay White and I'm arguing with Orange Cassidy and oh boy, here's a roll-up finish. Actual substance with Hangman, Swerve, Ospreay in this title picture. Not Adam Copeland, not FTR, where the last we saw them, they didn't even qualify for the tag team title nonsense thing, right? They lost the House of Black. So they're a bunch of losers anyway. Copeland it's just uninspiring to me. Like, okay, you are the guys defending AEW. This isn't even like an ex-WWE thing for me. This is these choices feel uninspiring. When you have actual good characters and good wrestlers, no knock on FTR and Adam Copeland. They're very good wrestlers. I have no connection with them as a character. There's rah, we love AEW. Hey, John Moxley, kid, I was doing this while you were just growing pubes. Like, thanks, dude, you're old. I get it. Awesome. I got no connection with these guys. None. I don't care for them to go after any of these titles. I just don't. Not when I'm watching Will Ospreay do cool shit. Not when I'm watching Swerve command an entire crowd just throwing toilet paper at somebody. Not when I'm watching the previous version of Hangman Page. Not this nonsense that he's doing now. The previous version of Hangman Page. And the way people got behind him and him burning down houses and stuff. Rah, Adam Copeland and FTR ain't doing it for me. Sorry.
I agree. I originally thought they were going to have Copeland return Wednesday and they were just going to keep like the mystery partner, but I guess they just wanted a big pop to end the show because I guess we can't have the Death Riders try to kill everybody to end every AEW programming. But yeah, I just think
should have. That was so uninspiring too. They kept talking about a new era. Every time Tony Khan talks about a new era, it's just Adam Copeland.
It's true. It's literally
it sucks. True. It sucks. AEW's like history is just going to be like, the start of the era, the pandemic era, the rated R era part 1, the rated R era part 2. It sucks.
So what's the era when he was injured? Is that still part 1?
It's still just part 1. Yeah, it's still just part 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In between the down period.
I would like maybe my hopes were too high. I don't know. But when this whole thing started and John Moxley's talking about this is not your company anymore, and it seemed like he was going to answering to a higher power, and we talked about Shane McMahon, which would have actually ruled now in hindsight. And like we're getting nothing out of this. This John Moxley is just winning matches. Nobody's like really getting elevated out of it. Remember Dark Order? People were like, oh, this is going to get Dark Order. They're going to become something. Top Flight. Action and Andretti and Leo Rush just like earn a title shot, but then they turned heels, and Private Party like don't really do anything on the shows. They're just background fodder. Maybe it's supposed to suck on purpose. Maybe in like 6 months from now, John Moxley will be like, you know what? Actually, this was supposed to be bad on purpose, and you guys all got fooled.
Maybe you guys didn't see I wasn't doing dives for 8 months. And then because I wasn't doing the dives is because you guys thought that I had fallen off the wagon, fallen off the cliff. Not falling off the wagon. That was the bad choice of words. Maybe you guys thought I was falling off. But no. It was all just a bit. It was all part of the game. I don't know why my mock sounds like he's getting into crusty territory, but I just do it all.
That was pretty good, though.
Oh, thank you. Once in a while, I get it.
Ryan, Ryan makes a good point. Copeland is TK's new Sting, just not as important, as impactful to the company.
Also, Sting was very WCW. Like, even when he went to WWE, it wasn't Sting. Like, it wasn't that Sting. Even that Sting was still WCW Sting in WWE. And then he went to AEW, where he was treated and became AEW Sting. And it was like a crossover between AEW and WCW, and it worked. Can't do that with Edge, with Adam Copeland, because he spent his entire career in one place and was known synonymously with WWE for an entire era.
You want to know why it really doesn't work, though, Joel? Not because of the WWE stuff.
Because he's not 60 something?
No. I mean, he's close.
Because they don't shove, they never shove Sting down our throats, but they're going to shove Adam Copeland down our throats?
All of these are good points. It's not the actual reason. The actual reason is Adam Copeland just ain't that big of a deal. He's just not. WWE spent how many years trying to put him on a similar level to John Cena, to really John Cena, because John Cena was the guy. And they tried to put so many different people on that level as like, oh, Cena's great. Randy Orton is another one. I think Randy's doing good work. I mean, I know he's injured right now. But Randy Orton ain't on that level either. And that showed when they tried to run a bigger building for NXT in St. Louis, and people were like, yeah, Randy Orton ain't that dude. He's not. Adam Copeland is John Cena fodder. That's all he was for the longest time in his career. He's not this big time legend that they want to make him out to be. And it's not a knock on him. I know it seems like it might be a knock on him. It's not. I think Adam Copeland's a very good wrestler. I think Adam Copeland, his AEW run thus far has been really good before he got injured. I thought he was doing good stuff. He was having good matches. It's not always my cup of tea, but he was having good matches, and the TNT title stuff was good. People got opportunities and everything off of that. But there's only one legend from that whole Ruthless Aggression era. It's John Cena. Everybody else was just fodder for John Cena. That's it. Sting was an actual WCW legend. He was there when the business was at the hottest. He helped get the business to the hottest point with the gimmick. And then he could have been so much more if they capitalized it on everything before then. Even before that, early 90s, when he was Surfer Sting, he helped boost the WCW business during that. I know that was a lull period for a lot of stuff, but he was there when the business was actually hot. Adam Copeland, Edge, was a top guy when things started to fall down. And the only person who boosted the business at the time was John Cena and CM Punk to a lesser extent. And that's why CM Punk still works nowadays. But Adam Copeland, Randy Orton, those are the main two that they try to prop up as these are these legendary wrestlers. And it's like, they're legends on a different level. Not to say they're not legends, but they're not the legends that actually move the business. Because there's not too many of them anyway. Again, not a knock on either of them. There just aren't that many guys. But we can't act like Adam Copeland is one of those guys. Because he's not. Batista's honestly, I love Batista. Everyone knows I love Batista. Kind of in that category as well. But he didn't have a prolonged stay. He had his run. He was done. I know he came back. But the fact that when he came back, people were like, yeah, we want Daniel Bryan. Again, not quite on that level. So Batista can be considered another one. There's only one guy from that period. It's John Cena. That's it. Everyone else, John Cena cannon fodder.
And you're about to see what John Cena will do to WWE's business for the next year. starting next Monday.
I'm so excited.
There you go. There's one person right there who you, for all intents and purposes, grew up in the John Cena era of WWE. This is your time to reflect and enjoy the last year of an active John Cena in the ring. That's going to bring eyeballs. That's going to bring fans back. That's something, again, it's not a knock at Copeland. It's just, okay, here's what I really am curious about. Was there a plan, or is there a plan with the Death Riders outside of Mox wins the title, Mox wants to recreate AEW or save AEW, whatever, destroy it, rebuild it in his way, and then eventually Darby, who should be the only raw AEW guy, comes and wins it? Was there ever planning for the in-between stages, or has there been planning in the in-between stages? Because it feels like we're all waiting for something that's inevitable, but that inevitability is about to go climb a giant mountain and hopefully come back.
I mean, the other thing is too, they're the trios champs. When the hell is the last time they defended those trios titles?
We talked, Jeremy and I talked ad nauseum about this. This should be FTR and Copeland going after the trios titles and winning them. That's all it should be. Simple, easy. Those three win the trios titles, get them off of Death Riders, move forward from there. But we're not doing that.
Those belts don't exist.
But they do. If you go on like the AEW website.
I'm also curious about where like Pac's whereabouts, because he wasn't at World's End. He's not in he's not in the trios match on Wednesday. So is there something going on there? Is he okay? Is he going to be at the shows in Japan? Maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Claudio's booked for that.
I know Claudio's booked, and he's on the the January 1st show. So yeah, no, I just don't know what's going on with Pac. And other people have asked, and I'm sure there will be an answer eventually. But that was something I was thinking about. Was the plan that rated FTR, that they win those titles? But now Pac's out. I don't know. And they can't freebird those titles because the precedent has been set that you can't freebird the trios titles.
Well, that guy doesn't have power anymore.
Yeah, he's been stripped of his power. Kenny Omega just needs to come out and be like, reverse card. And you could just.
And is Marina ever going to wrestle too?
No.
I don't think they care if she wrestles. I think they really like, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in she's really good in this role where she is like badass enforcer and doesn't have to do wrestling moves. And the only time you see her wrestle is when she goes and does like blood sport events. And then you get to see like how badass she can be as a, pseudo MMA fighter reborn. That'd be cool. But other than that, they're not really doing anything with her in the ring in AEW, which I don't mind as long as she keeps looking badass.
I agree. I don't think they did the thing with Willow, and then they did it again with Willow, and I don't know if it's ever going to leave a match. Blade Runner got a big pop though when Jay White hit it with the Blade Runner. Like the crowd popped for that. So
that was also like a long time coming. People were waiting for that to happen. So the build was good. I like that led to that eventually.
The finish of World's End left me uninspired. I was hoping for something just more with the Death Riders stuff. I want another murder. Let me be honest. More murder.
Oh, here we go.
You still got a shortened presser even without the murder.
Oh, look, I bless whoever made this change. I'm taking all credit for it, but somebody actually inside the organization made this change, but I'm taking credit for it for all my bitching and complaining that I did for years that these things were way too long. But this one, we had FTR Copeland up there, and they went about, 20 minutes or so. And then Tony went about 20 minutes or so. That was that. Like, it's all it needs to be. The final battle one was actually...
that wasn't bad.
No, that one was really good because they had multiple people come in. Because somebody in my mentions when I said like, "Oh, this is great," somebody was like, "Oh, well, the media doesn't get an opportunity to talk to like a lot of the wrestlers and stuff. I was like, yeah, Final Battle was good because they had like 6 different wrestlers up there, but they kept it to just a couple of questions. Everybody gave relatively short answers and they kept it moving. And then Tony came on and he only took, 4 or 5 questions and then he was done. With AEW, once again, like a lot of heels won. So if a heel wins, they're going to go up there and just be in character and you're not going to get anything out of that. Like, I think that's a disservice to the wrestlers. I think it's a disservice to the media if you're just going to have them come up there, be their heel character and not give you anything. Like, what's the point of that? So I'd much rather you just kind of get Copeland and FTR up there and they'll give you the answers they're going to give you. And look, Copeland had stuff to talk about coming back from the injury and everything. So they give you like a little bit of time and then Tony gives you, that's a great question. And then he tells you the history of AEW.
And the excitement of moving to Max.
And how he loved the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Biggest simulcast ever. Yeah, he answered the same question that Kimmy asked a week ago, which popped me. I thought that was hilarious.
He texted me. I was on a podcast. He goes, someone just asked the same question you asked last week. I was like, why?
Because people don't listen to the pre-show pressers as much.
It wasn't the pre-show pressure. He asked us a Final Battle.
I asked the
Final Battle, then someone asked it at World's End. And Jeremy covered it on Fightful.
It's fine. People don't pay attention to any of the 3 things you just said. If they're going to come back at it, they're going to use it.
No knock on anybody who does the media press conference and stuff, because I think it is actually very difficult, especially because Tony's just going to give you a bunch of non-answers anyway. He was asked about, what do you think of WWE running a show 20 minutes away, if that? And he's like, it was a great night for Florida wrestling fans and the great fans in Orlando. It's so great that we can sell out, they can sell out, and everything's great. It's like, all right. You're just not going to get, when he's asked about Sinatra and he somehow gets onto the Continental Classic and Mark Briscoe, you're just not going to get a good answer out of him. Some of the questions I didn't think were very good, but even if it is a good question, he's asked about Ricky on the media call and he's like, tune in to Fight for the Fallen. You never know what's going to happen. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Ricky Starks isn't going to come back. Maybe he is.
Ricky just shows up
be on
Defy that weekend instead.
Yeah, he was at Defy.
Yeah, I know.
God,
gonna wrestle Penta.
Maybe he shows up at Fight for the Fallen. I hope he does. But at the same time, it's just like, you're not going to get a good answer out of him. So if you're not going to get any of these great answers, the press conference kind of feel pointless.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everyone knows that my one issue with the press conference is very simple. Give me a bottle of water.
Here's my like white whale question answer. If I ever do one of these press conferences, I want Tony to tell me that question sucked. I want to ask something so absurd that Tony Khan is like, that question, huh? I don't understand that question. That's an awful question.
You want
because he says that's a great question to everybody.
That is true. It's his favorite word. Well, SP3 wanted to ask Jericho his bodega order if Jericho did the presser in Final Battle.
Yeah, that's our question.
Like, do not ask that question. That is a dumb question.
No, you always ask the questions. That's a great content question. Well, you either get that or you get Booker T telling you how he is Mike Tyson. Like, what do you like? Which answer do you want? Do you want a bodega chopped cheese order? Or do you want Mike? I'm Mike Tyson, Chucky Ducky, quack quack. Oh yeah! Like, what do you want?
I had a good question for Jericho.
I'll take chopped cheese.
My question would have been, can you please wrestle on Honor Club? And what do I got to do to make you do that?
He'll say his contract doesn't allow for it.
That'd be a good answer though.
That's true.
Then I'll look at Tony Khan and be like, can you renegotiate that crap to like make him wrestle on Honor Club?
And he'll laugh and say, that's a great question. Let me tell you about Chris Jericho and Honor Club and the Ring of Honor World Championship. For over 40, like, what do you want?
Somebody should have asked Tony why he hates Vanilla Baby. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
I was not asking him that.
Question. That would be my question.
Pulling him from all those GCW shows last year just to do this. What are we doing?
That would be my question. Why do you hate Vanilla Baby? and just see what he says. And maybe he'll understand it's a Blake Christian reference. Maybe he's thinking about ice cream. But I just want him to answer. That question sucks. But I'm gonna answer it anyway.
Does Vanilla Baby constitute the existence of French Vanilla Baby?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Theoretically.
Who is French Vanilla Baby? Who is the French Blake Christian?
No, let's not do that. There's no one on the level of Blake Christian.
Look for French redheaded wrestlers. That's all you need.
Oh,
all right, here I am. I'm doing it. French redhead wrestler.
You're gonna get some wacky answer out of this.
They're all women. They're not French.
PCO is PCO just
PCO baby? Did come up for some
French
reason.
I don't think
Heath
PCO
Slater?
fits the mold.
You think Heath Slater could just do like a French accent?
Ho ho ho, ho ho ho, baby! I've got kids.
Oh my god, what does this show turn into?
This show is this is on par.
Yeah.
More kids. I think it's meh kids, but whatever. We're not French here.
Meh? Why meh?
Meh is meh. The plural of mot is meh. My whatever. Our kids, I guess.
That's right.
Mes enfants.
What?
It's French for my kids, anyway.
Okay.
What else do we have to talk about from this World's End pay-per-view? Mercedes and Chris Stylander was a very, 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 very good match. Very fun match. I enjoyed it. A lot of memorable parts to it. They did the over 20 minutes longest AEW women's match as we expected.
It should have 20 minutes in 1 second.
I joked.
There, shut up now, dorks.
I joked with Matt Black on Blue Sky. He was like, "This match is going to go over 20 minutes, right?" I'm like, 20 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah.
I thought the first match was better than the second match.
Wow.
Hot take.
Yeah.
This is why you're retiring.
No, I mean, so in my opinion, I just felt like at some points they were trying to hit that 24-minute mark, and at some points it just dragged a little bit. I don't know. I felt like they were just trying to be like, okay, what do we do next? What should we do to make sure we hit 24 minutes? Like, that was my opinion. I just thought the first one they clicked better, felt like they didn't drag as long. Again, this is why I'm retiring, guys. Can't say these controversial opinions anymore.
Seriously, no more. Can't watch. You don't watch any wrestling from the 70s and 80s. You would absolutely hate it.
Oh, I've tried. I was like, what is this garbage?
You know
I don't
what I need? Hold on. I've now decided that I need Kimmy and Jeff Hawkins in a room talking about wrestling. Just one person is not going to walk out of that room, and I'd like to see that unfurl. That would be perfect.
I don't actually disagree with Kimmy. Like, the first match had a little bit more sense of urgency to it. Where this match, it felt like and look, that spot where Chris got back in the ring at 9, which that 9 count took forever anyway, but it did feel like they did too many of like the double down stuff to where they were just trying to like, all right, let's drag it and try to add some drama to it. And like, it worked on some levels, but I do think the first match there was just more sense of urgency to it. And everyone knows me anyway, that my sweet spot is like 12 to 18 minutes. So a 19-minute match is going to hit with me probably better than a 24-minute match on most nights.
Yeah. And I mean, again, we go back to who's going to take the TBS title off of Mercedes? Who's
Anna Jay.
You're going with Anna Jay?
And did she just lose?
Yeah, this is why you're retiring.
No.
Are you stupid or are you done?
That was really rude. I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm saying like you build her up for a couple months. I think Anna Jay is going to hold gold in 2025. Listen, I could have said my dentist pal, and I didn't say that because that would have been biased.
Actually, you know what's really funny? So 5 years ago, Chris Statlander was beating the dentist, and Chris had just gotten signed to AEW, and they gave Chris Statlander a Women's World Championship match off of that victory, and a couple of dark victories to pad the resume as they did. And now it's interesting to see the evolution, or at least just like the Chris Statlander story since then. And that's not juxtaposed to Britt. I'm just making the reference that like at one point when Britt Baker was the person in AEW when she started, you had Chris Statlander get a victory over Britt to get a world title shot. Like, it proves the point that Tony has always been a fan, or at least behind the Statlander character, or at least the Statlander as a wrestler. And like, this further proves it. She's always solid in the ring. Her and Mercedes have that chemistry. It's very good stuff. You maybe you do a third one, even though Mercedes has beaten her twice. I don't know if you even need to do a third at this point. It's pretty like, it's academic in the sports world that was it.
You know what I loved about not this match? The match was great. I loved, and I hope this makes television, I love the backstage exclusive with Statlander, where she's like, I've been good for a long enough time. Like, I want to be great. But the main point of that was like, it's cool, I'm having good matches, but I'm losing. Yeah, that shit shouldn't matter. I can't, like, the announcers, when they're like, oh, this is such a great match. Will Ospreay just goes, has banger match. Mercedes, she just has great match. Is it the purpose to win? Like, is it better to have a great 25-minute match and lose, or a good 12-minute match and win? Give me the good 12-minute match where I win. That seems like it would be better for me than having a great 25-minute match where I lose. And sometimes I think that gets lost in wrestling. Maybe this is me, old man, yelling at the clouds. But I do think it gets lost in wrestling. It's like, oh, great match. Did you win? Oh, no. But like, I got a "this is awesome" chant. Okay. Give me the 12-minute match where I win. That's what I want. Put the title on me, then I beat everybody. That's what I want.
I think Chris, before Mariah wrestles the newbie Tony Storm again, I think Chris goes after Mariah.
To lose some more?
What else are you going to have her do? She can come to, I would suggest going to Ring of Honor.
But they do this too often. They do this where it's like, oh, I've lost one title match. Let me go challenge for the other title. Oh, I've lost that title match. Let me do something else. Like, you can tell actual stories that doesn't revolve around the title. They're doing that with Julia Hart and Jamie Hayter right now. They've at least got something going there to where, oh, there's no title at stake, but it's a separate story. They did that with Thunder and Deanna, and then Thunder got elevated to the, after, not wrestling for a while, got elevated to the world title picture, and then she lost. I don't need her now going after Mercedes because she's lost the women in the women's world title match. Like, just do a match against somebody else that's not for a title, but put some purpose and some meaning behind it, and then elevate them into the title off of that.
So Thunder Rosa for the TBS championship next is what you're saying?
Probably, honestly, probably.
That's horrible.
I don't know if I hate it.
I hate it.
I mean, you would, so you don't really get an opinion on this one.
Listen, I have my pal sitting at home.
Yeah, it's going into ice baths with DDP, talking about all the cool shit she's doing.
That was all during, like, when she was out injured.
Yeah, that was months ago. She
I'm
did
well
that.
When it was. I'm well aware of when it was.
But people tried to
oh my
act like it
God.
wasn't, though, and it was annoying.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, this was not recent. I know
No.
for a fact it's not.
When she's like, oh, I'm working on a bunch of different projects. Like, yeah, Cobra Kai. You just can't say it because at the time of this filming, it was not aired yet.
She couldn't even say we were at a con. Like, when it was reported she was in Cobra Kai, and she was like, I don't know what to do because I can't say anything. And I was like, I'll tweet it and say you're not in it. She goes, but you're lying. And I go, do you want me to tell people not to ask?
Wow.
And then she's like, yeah, she felt bad. She really considered it for a second. She's like, wait, because people would believe Kimmy. And I was like, girl, just tell me what to do. And we left it alone. But she did great.
People believe you?
Clearly you don't.
Nope. So
would you ever?
Would I ever believe you?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, what if I told you like a TNA scoop? Like, I'm not saying I have one, but if I did, like, if I told you like a TNA scoop, would you believe me?
Probably someone I could talk to about that, who works for the company or two.
Bryan Danielson.
Oh my God, he was backstage at World's End.
He's probably the reason why that the show kind of.
He's a coward if he was back there and he didn't come out to try to kill Jon Moxley. I love Bryan Danielson.
listen, he was like, I'm old, I'm tired, and I'm working with children because I have children. We need to end this show by midnight latest. And they were like, how's 11:30? He's like, perfect.
I respected that they ended that show at 11:30. I was so worried that when that match started at like 10 after or so, I'm like, if this fucking thing goes 45 minutes, I might legitimately jump out of a window.
We didn't want you to do that.
Watch this match for 45 minutes. In no world does this match need to go 45 minutes. Unfortunately, it did not. But then there was no murder at the end, so that sucked.
Who would you have taken out in that case?
What do you mean?
If they had done a murder angle out of the 4 guys, who would you have gone after?
Orange Cassidy.
Just all
Yeah.
of them. Orange Cassidy would have been easy. But yeah, just all of them.
Adam Page ain't got nothing going on.
I would have murdered Orange Cassidy and brought him back as Apple Cassidy.
What?
This is the most like F, Marry, Kill conversation we can have. So, World's End main event, F, Marry, Kill. If you're Jon Moxley, who are you doing?
And then he comes back and his big promo is like, I'm not the person I was in the past. I am more violent. I am crispier. I am juicier. And you can't compare apples to oranges.
So would he start wearing red?
He doesn't wear orange now. He just wears denim.
Well, it's a new Apple Cassidy trying new things. That would be hilarious. And then they would do the Jericho match again, where instead of dumping orange juice on the jacket, they would dump apple juice.
Yeah, but you can't make a mimosa with apple juice. That's a disgusting mimosa.
I can try.
Freshly peeled apple Cassidy. Jason's right.
But see, he could be like a green apple, and then he joins the learning tree.
No, stop talking.
Kimmy's all about that.
Wait, does that mean he'll go to Ring of Honor?
No, he infiltrates. Hold on.
Him and Brian Keith become the bad apples.
He infiltrates the learning tree. Orange Cassidy's like a big Fast and Furious fan. He loves Fast and Furious. This is why I connect with Orange Cassidy. He infiltrates the learning tree, just like the first Fast and Furious film. And yeah, him and Brian Keith become the bad apples. But it turns out he was undercover the entire time. And he takes down the learning tree. Because you can't make an apple tree, which is tree semen, without the learning tree.
A couple of bad apples spoil the bunch.
And then he and Brian Keith break away from Jericho. He gets Brian Keith out of the learning tree. And then they go on and they take over the world. They stop robbing cars and they start, rescuing people and prevent bomb threats.
They win the tag titles from the Outrunners.
This is way better than whatever they're going to do with Orange Cassidy and the learning tree.
That is something.
Way better. Way better.
I'm done.
Oh my God.
They don't have a plan for Orange Cassidy after this, do they? Like, you really think
isn't he wrestling Hangman tomorrow?
Allegedly. Yep. Yeah.
So maybe that's what we're doing. It's the who loves AEW more now that Darby's gone.
The soul of AEW.
The soul of AEW has been on the line for the last 4 pay-per-views.
Orange Cassidy. Someone should save. Who will save your soul? Who sang that song?
Wasn't that Jewel?
Jewel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was Jewel. She wrote that while she was homeless.
Really?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. Yeah, it's Joel. Yeah, it's Jewel. Yeah, she was homeless for a while. She was busking on the side, outside of a Greyhound station for a while. She's told the story on multiple junkets, including Stern. And she was like, yeah, I would busk. And then I would start making up these lyrics based on what I was seeing. And then that's how Who Will Save Your Soul came about. Because it's just her seeing stuff on the streets
okay.
and singing about it.
I got a better idea. I don't even think you came up with an idea, but I got an idea. All right.
Oh no.
For the soul of AEW, right? I'm trying to think who can pull this off.
Clearly,
You guys
not
don't know
Orange
I'm going
Cassidy.
with the idea. I mean, I like putting Orange Cassidy into everything because he just kind of rules. It's a shame that like he's not gonna win the title or anything. All right, you know what? I hate doing this, but I'm gonna do it. Adam Cole.
Let's go.
Adam Cole comes out. You'll see where I'm going. You'll see where I'm going with this. Adam Cole comes out on Wednesday, and he's like, John Moxley, I challenge you for the soul of AEW. And John Moxley comes out and he's like, why do you get a title shot? You just lost to MJF, blah, 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 whatever. And Adam Cole is like, we're not going to have a wrestling match, though. We're not going to do this wrestling nonsense. You know what we're going to do, John Moxley? At AEW, what Revolution? I know it's in Los Angeles, but
Maximum Carnage.
At AEW Maximum Carnage in Georgia for the soul of AEW, we're going to have a fiddling contest.
Oh, no.
And it is John Moxley
Do it.
and Adam Cole in a fiddle off at AEW Maximum Carnage in Georgia.
MJF won.
They don't give you the book.
Somebody did. Someone said the Dynamite was my show.
That's right. That was great. People on the internet are weird.
I was like, man, if Dynamite was my show, we'd do over 1 million viewers.
That's true.
Easily.
You would kill everybody.
No, Ryan, no. The devil was Adam Cole.
Yeah. Yeah. Would he wear the mask on the way out for the match?
No. Not for the match. Yes. I thought you meant for the big promo on Monday. No.
No.
Give it away.
No. You do it for the match.
Yeah, for the match. He comes out.
The second you said Georgia and Adam, I was like, I know what this.
I know.
Is.
I could tell you were catching on when I said Georgia and where it was going.
I was like, wait a minute, Maximum Carnage isn't in Georgia. Oh,
Maximum Carnage doesn't exist. It's not a real thing, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
That's the Dynamite they're doing in Cincinnati.
Oh,
you know when
all right.
When they turn it into AEW Underground for.
Oh, you know what? They're going to be in Georgia on January 11th.
Perfect. Next week.
There it is.
2 weeks, I guess.
They can do it there. I didn't look at the schedule to see like when they were going to be in Georgia. They're going to be Atlanta February 5th. Yeah, they're running Georgia plenty. I might be onto something here.
Where does MJF factor into all this?
Who could possibly?
Who gives a shit?
He's in Happy Gilmore land. Very busy.
You can get Adam Sandler on the show. That might do a number.
I would love to have Adam Sandler on the show. Can ask him about the "You're Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah" movie that he directed at the synagogue that I attend.
That thing doesn't actually exist.
Oh my god, that
Adam
was like
Sandler.
an okay movie.
Yeah, no, I didn't
watch it.
Yeah, they filmed it at the synagogue that I attend. Do we talk about Cole and MJF from that
what?
show?
No, why?
No, there's one thing you need to say. Adam Cole tried really hard. That is all that matters. He tried. Okay? And he wasn't yellow, and Max's Tanner went all over the mat, so he tried.
Adam Cole looked like such a dork losing this match.
I know.
And then he reunited with his friends. So hey, they beat up like 6-on-1 against the heel. The crowd went so mild. I felt bad for him, honestly. I felt bad for him. The crowd was like, oh, yeah. The Undisputed Kingdom is together. And MJF got beat up, but he won the match. Adam Cole should be a fiddler. It's much better.
Are you trying to insinuate that Adam Cole should get a long beard, long hair? He should rename himself Tevye Cole and just start. He's a milkman.
I saw that movie. I get that reference though. I saw that play. Do you know they did a Gwen Stefani song in that?
I'm very well aware of this shit.
My wife looked at me like I was the biggest idiot in the world. I was like, this is a Gwen Stefani song. And she's like, what?
I hate you. I just want to see Adam Cole put on that. Well, like he grew up in Amish country, so like at least he can nail the look. But I just want to.
Adam Cole as a fiddler is so much better than whatever they're going to actually do with his group. They're going to have wrestling matches. That sounds terrible. I want them to do fiddle-offs.
I don't think he knows how to fiddle.
So?
Yeah, he just spent the last 3 months fiddle fucking around this whole feud.
Can teach himself. We need the opening, like that terrible TNA opening where it's Eric Bischoff playing the guitar. We need that with Adam Cole. It's just Adam Cole doing his fiddling.
This is awful, and I'm all about it.
I think Jeremy needs to tweet this idea.
What's funny is that it's not the first time. It's not the first time we made fiddler references on this show.
Can we get the rights to Devil Went Down to Georgia so I can play this?
Tony's proven that he's willing to shell out some money for a lot of different.
All right, let me tweet Tony right now. Dear Tony Khan, at some point he's gonna like finally block me. Can you please get the rights to Devil Went Down to Georgia for the upcoming shows in Georgia? Also, please make a wrestler a fiddler. I'm gonna actually just pitch my full idea. Also, please have Adam Cole, the devil. I'll put that in parentheses in case.
Could you please tag Adam Cole, baby, in this thing?
Yeah, I will.
Yes, please tag him.
Let's have Adam Cole. I put it in parentheses in case they forgot that he was the devil.
Good point.
Challenge for the soul of AEW in a fiddle contest. Thanks. Happy New Year. There we go.
I appreciate that you say thanks at the end of these.
Yeah, you know, I'm very personable.
You have to show manners.
Yeah.
That's the manners that I appreciate.
I assume everybody has me like muted and blocked. Why the hell are people
don't? Because your tweets are funny.
Oh, that's not true.
It'd be very funny if he muted you on socials.
Oh, I assume he did mute me. Are you kidding me? Like, actually, I know that's not true because of tweets he's liked in the past, like week. So I know it's not true, but he should. He honestly should.
Oh,
I retweeted your tweet. You're welcome.
We kind of talked about Toni Storm a little bit earlier. She had the match with Layla Gray. We know what this Toni Storm gimmick. You and I have been talking about it, Jeremy, for a while. But like, does this Toni Storm find herself in title contention before revealing herself, and then another match comes up, or is this like what does the Toni Storm story play out as for the next month and a half? Because now we're getting closer to Grand Slam Australia, where most people are assuming this match is going to happen. If not, it could easily be the main event as well. Mariah May, Toni Storm for the Women's World Championship again.
I think she comes out as like Timeless or actor Toni Storm or whatever in the lead up to the Mariah May match, because I think she's just going to win. And then she's going to earn a title shot based on victories. Novel concept, I know. And then when she feuds with Mariah May is going to like see through it all. And she's going to be like, this is not who you actually are. And then finally, Toni is going to like snap and go after her. That's how I see it. I don't know. What do you think, Kimmy?
I think that she'll like what I want. I don't think they'll do. Ooh, wow, both my AirPods died. This should be fun. So
Get the helicopter mic.
I can't. It doesn't have a USB on this computer.
Wah, wah. He's trying to get a dock, Ms. MacBook 50 billion.
This is my first one. Anyway, so first of all, if she still has this gimmick by the time she does like a con, I want to film a video with her and it's like how to do your first con. That is what I need in my life. If it doesn't happen, I failed miserably. But I think she should have the rookie celebration when she wins in Australia with like the confetti and the oh my god, my first title, and then like that first promo after on the following Dynamite. She's like, I fooled you all along. I'm now a 4-time AEW Women's Champ. I've carried this division on my back, yada yada, whatever. But I need the rookie celebration.
I feel like that's a heel reveal though. Carrying this division on my back.
Baby face.
She's very clearly a baby face right now. I don't think she's going to be turning anytime soon. She's very open.
That stuff doesn't matter.
Yes, but in some cases they really do try. And this is going to be one of those people, especially because the person or people behind this particular story are very good at focusing on a story being a story. No, like they have the beats in mind. If you put these people behind the Death Rider story, it probably would have cleaned up a while ago. And it probably also would have been like, I don't know, the retelling of Schindler's List, because RJ's like that. God, that got dark.
I'm excited to see where it goes, though, because I could see them doing not to bring up Britt's name again, but kind of what they did with Britt when she first won the title, where like when rankings existed in AEW. Remember that? And remember when we were supposed to bring them back in 2024? Like how Tony will work through the rankings. Yeah, but then they disappeared.
Well, that was because Samoa Joe asked for them to bring them back. And then once Samoa Joe lost the title, they were useless again.
Well, again, you could kind of bring them back for this, where she'll go through the rankings. She'll be number 1. Like, oh my god, I finally earned my first title shot. I'm so excited. I'm so nervous. She'll probably main event. It'll be her first main event.
But in that case, why wouldn't you have her lose and have that force her deeper into madness?
I don't know.
I think a lot of
I'm trying to think like Tony Khan.
Well, I think a lot of people are also assuming that she's going to come out and win this match. And that's a fan service question: is do you want Toni Storm or should Toni Storm be winning this second match, or do you have her win it on a grander stage? I don't know if you want to carry this all the way to like All In, but you do have Revolution in March, which is only a few weeks after the Grand Slam show. And like, let's be honest, Grand Slam is not going to be this like huge event beyond where it's going to be located, right? It's going to be I don't want to call it like a big house show, but it's going to be a big show for the people who are in that time zone. Because
we don't even know how to watch this show, do we?
And they may have mentioned that they plan to do it on Max, but
I think they did.
If they're going to do it on Max, like sure, it's fine, but the live element's always big, and that's why like you think of Elimination Chamber when they ran that. They had a lot of like they had a really good show, but nothing was like huge beyond who won the Elimination Chambers. There was no Rock. People were like, The Rock's going to show up. And Jeremy, you and I talked about it. It's like there's no mainstream media. Like there's no reason to do it media wise. But this is a similar conversation where like Tony winning at Grand Slam is big for Australian fans or fans who are like up to the nostalgia of Tony winning in her home country. But like, what if she loses and she goes back to Timeless and then she just wins it at Revolution, which is a arguably grander show in terms of eyeballs on a live show. And we can assume Crypto is going to be pretty full for that event, especially if you have a hot Mercedes Moné match because she's local and she's over in that area. Like, and other stuff as well. I'm just talking to the women's division right now. There's enough there that you can make it so that you do the match once again on a third tier at Revolution and make it bigger than Grand Slam.
I don't know if she goes back to Timeless though.
I think she does. I think again, we've been talking about this. For those who think this is her having amnesia, it's not. She doesn't have amnesia. She's playing the role of the original Toni Storm to then come back to being Timeless and being the grand star. My biggest role was winning back the hearts and soul of all the fans, and now I've recaptured the AEW Women's World Championship, and my torn labia has been completely healed. The last part is something she should absolutely throw in, by the way. In fact, when she does her next her next not even interview, but like her next press event, someone should ask, how's your torn labia?
I don't know if she's going to do a press event, but I agree that question should be asked.
And I feel like she would look at the person and be like, what are you talking about? Because it was Timeless Tony Storm who talked about it, not this Tony Storm.
Oh yeah, she should no sell it 100%. She's like, no, my labia has always been fine. Like it's good.
That's a deeply personal question, don't you think?
Yeah.
Kimmy,
I like
time when you see Tony Storm.
I will. I like. Oh, I'll see her on the Jericho cruise. She'll be on the Jericho cruise.
Your best friend Chris Jericho will easily have you and Tony together again.
I did like when they were talking about the when they were doing the Deanna thing, and they were talking about the duck tattoo, and Tony's like, "How'd you know I had this tattoo?" And I was like, "Oh my god, that was funny."
There's some very good stuff, but yeah, I mean, I'm curious as to Tony Storm's trajectory, and I don't know if Grand Slam is going to be her big crowning moment. I think maybe they'll rerun the match at Revolution, and that's where it happens. It's a pretty big moment for that. We'll see. Maybe it'll be that she's Tony Storm, like Rocker Tony Storm at Grand Slam, and then she's Revolution, she's Timeless again.
And that's in Los Angeles, Tinseltown.
Tinseltown, Hollywood. You're right on it. There you go.
Could see it. Could see it.
Luther comes back.
Oh, yeah.
God bless Deathmatch.
Luther should be the roadie for Tony Storm.
Put a wig on.
As good as this idea is, and it's a fantastic idea, cannot take credit for this. This was the wife's idea. She had this weeks ago, by the way, that Luther should be the roadie. So I can't take credit for that idea. It's a fantastic idea. They should make this happen. I'll message Luther. Be like, hey. I'll message Tony again. I'm sure he's not sick of me already.
just tweet him like an entire thread of New Year's ideas.
Are you kidding me? I have so many good ideas.
Hey, Tony, not sure what you're doing for New Year's Eve, but I have a wonderful idea.
Yeah, you want to listen to all of my ideas?
Tony, let's have a phone call, face to face, tete-a-tete.
That's a great idea. I love that idea. You know, I'll really think about doing that idea.
3 minutes.
It was
later,
great.
like, pass. I'm out. See ya. Happy New Year.
I'd put these ideas together though, like shot for shot, exactly point A to point Z. People are going to say, "Oh, AW doesn't tell stories," which they're wrong about. This shit would be laid out weeks on end, and I would not be deterred at all. I would lay it all out and be like, here you go. Just follow this step by step, day by day. I don't know the rest of the lyrics to that show.
Gonna get you in my world.
What? What is that?
Step by step. Ooh, it's New Kids.
New Kids. I was doing wasn't there a TV show called Step by Step?
Yeah, there was, but I'm just thinking of
didn't it go like step by step, day by day, something. Wow.
Probably. I just don't remember it.
Do you know the lyrics of Three's Company?
Come and knock on my door.
We've been waiting for you.
Kimmy,
that was a Full House episode.
Yeah, that's the only reason I know the lyrics is because of that Full House episode. Yeah, the thing and the thing and the thing and the thing. Three's Company too.
It's like Family Guy with the, and then there's Maude. Oh, finally, that was an ordeal. I don't know why Peter Griffin is an old Jewish man in my world, but here he is. Yeah, that's about it for World's End. Oh no, the most important thing, Jeremy, what is Jeff Jarrett going to do on Wednesday?
I don't know. Hopefully not retire. It's gonna be very sad when Jeff Jarrett retires. They're gonna be losing their best worker when Jeff Jarrett retires.
I mean, he did QT, and QT is kind of up in the run. You know what? Jeff Jarrett should be gifting QT Marshall with the Workers Award. That's what it should be. Jeff Jarrett, QT the guy.
No, you know what it's going to be? I have the perfect thing. Christopher Daniels said he's no longer an EVP. An EVP. So Jeff Jarrett is going to take CD's spot, and he'll be an EVP.
No, because CD gave it back to Kenny Omega. That was the whole reason why CD came out in the first place.
Well, you know, why can't Kenny have a friend? Kenny doesn't have any.
Good. Kenny shouldn't have friends. The last friend he had is, well,
What if Christopher Daniels comes out and says, me being an me being an EVP sucked on purpose. If you thought I was bad at my job, that was on purpose.
For the last 8 months, I have been purposely acting like a raw general manager, and none of you saw it. And I just want you to know that this was all a bit.
How much longer? Legitimate question. How much longer can they wait on Will Ospreay? Like Will Ospreay said after the Continental Classic, I'll help you fight. I'll fight these guys after all of this is over. Okay, well, it's over now. When's he going to get in this title picture? Because there's something to be said. You think double or nothing?
I think that's when he wins the title.
The thing is like the next time he challenges, he can't lose. Like, at some point, you just got to go with Ospreay. I understand why you didn't do it with Swerve, because Swerve was just starting his reign and everything. And you wanted to, they were going with the Bryan story, which I have can full understand waiting for Bryan's story. But like, I don't feel like you can wait much longer on Ospreay. The dude's the top guy in the company. It's the biggest reaction every single show. You talk about where the best wrestle. He's the best wrestler in the company. Like, I think Ospreay stepping up and challenging Moxley is something that, for me, is exciting. Way more exciting than Adam Copeland. Yeah.
Unless you want to wait for Forbidden Door.
I don't know.
That's in London.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. If you do Moxley and Ospreay in London at Forbidden Door, I don't know if Moxley's going to hold the title that long.
So
that's why I said double or nothing. I think that's a good point in the calendar year.
So looking at the calendar, you've got Fight for the Fallen. There's no world title match. Then there's Maximum Carnage. That's in Cincinnati. That's
in Georgia, as we've established.
Georgia. We've established that is also going to be an important quote unquote night. Then you've got.
Is it? It's just good. It's just going to be a
allegedly
Dynamite.
To WBD. Allegedly, again, this was Sean's reporting. This was supposed to be an important show for Synergy or for something. And again, this is January. I don't know if like maybe there's some cross-brand stuff going on with TNT that they need to get into TV or TBS. I don't know what that is. I just
that show's in Cincy, right?
It's in Cincy.
All right, so that's like Moxley hometown.
That's
show.
Moxley's home.
So he's probably going to wrestle.
He's going to murder somebody.
And that could be the Copeland match.
Yeah,
you could just do that because I don't think people are really that invested in Copeland going after the world title on a pay-per-view stage when your next pay-per-view, and I'm talking Grand Slam, I'm talking about Revolution, is all the way in March, and that's a while away. That's March 9th.
I don't think you're running Moxley and Copeland all the way till March.
But then do you run Ospreay?
Dude, I'm running Ospreay tomorrow, just putting the title on Ospreay, but that's just me.
I don't know. I feel like you do something before Ospreay. I don't know who, but you do something before.
Well, Darby's got a challenge for this title at some point.
He's trying.
Revolution could be the Darby win and Christian cash in, honestly.
But when is the climb? When is Darby planning to do this?
Climb's April. Climb's
April.
Yeah,
April.
It is April.
Yeah.
But Darby, but again, is the story then still that Darby is the guy who conquers the Death Riders?
Well, yeah, he wins the title, and then Christian does the cash in.
I think it's more likely that Christian gets involved with the Copeland stuff.
But I think if Christian cashes in, he's going to be successful. Like, I think he's going to be the champion because he's held this for so long at this point. How are you going to have him fail?
Oh, ask other Money in the Bank holders about that. Damian Sandow's one that I would talk to. Big Show at one point.
And I'm not sure the first time you're doing something like this, you're having that person fail, though.
I don't think this is I think this is the only time. I don't think they're going to run it like this again, where they do the title shot for a year. I don't think
really?
they want to do. It has not been very popular, and it has not. Most people have just been like, "Oh, Christian has a title, like a Money in the Bank thing." Like, it just hasn't been very well received from the people that I like people that I pay attention to, fans that I listen to, like, I just don't see it as this popular new AEW thing. Like the brass ring was a better thing. Like there are other, basically AEW is much better when their matches have title shot stakes that are immediate. Face of the Revolution ladder match, good example of that. The Continental Classic again culminates with the Continental Championship being won, so it's something, but I don't like, and I don't think most people like, this up to a year cash in at any time. It's very sports entertainment-y bullshit. And Christian hasn't done a very good job, in my opinion, of making you care about it or making you really know that it's there, which is, I guess, the fun of the Money in the Bank, where it's like, oh, I forgot that they hold it. They don't need that. I don't think AEW needs that. And I think it'll play more into Christian and Adam Copeland than it will with Darby and Christian at this point.
I still think it's going to play in, but it's for the title. And you're not putting the title on Copeland and then having Christian cash in. And I don't think Christian's going to cash in on Moxley, because that kind of defeats the purpose of Moxley holding the soul of AEW, and then Christian just is going to sneak in and cash in. Like Darby, so Drew saying, I'm going to be honest, I don't think you put the title on him before Everest. But if the title reign is literally 30 seconds, then it's not like, we know Darby's not going to hold the title for very long if he wins it before Everest, because unless they're content with just taking the title off of television for maybe. Hold on. Hear me out. I've had great ideas today. Hear me out.
Oh yes, you're fiddling. Top tier.
I mean, I thought it was great.
I was so good. I pitched it to Tony Khan. Maybe Darby does win the title. All right. Darby wins the title. And then he opens up that briefcase. But the title is not in the briefcase because we don't actually know what's in that briefcase. But it is the AEW flag. And Darby wants to climb Mount Everest, and he wants to plant the flag into Everest. And he climbs Everest. He plants the flag. He's on, I don't know if you get internet service up there or Wi-Fi. They got Wi-Fi at the top of Everest. Someone Google this. And he's like, look, everybody, I'm on the top of Mount Everest right here with the AEW flag championship. I'll be home soon. But if you want to take this title / flag, you got to climb Mount Everest and get it yourself. And then he just returns to AEW in a few months because he's got to recover and stuff. And we don't like the next person who wants it's got to climb it. There's no more title. There's no more title to be had until Christian cashes in his contract. And he's like, I just made a new title. This is now the AEW champion. And Christian is the champion.
I supported you up until you said that they have to climb Mount Everest to get the.
Yeah, you want the title, you climb Mount Everest and get it.
Jericho could just rent a blimp. It's fine. He's
okay. Look, if he's smart enough to do that, then more power to him.
He's pretty
However,
smart.
you got to get there.
Kimmy's got the inside edge. She knows. There is not Wi-Fi at the top of Mount Everest, but there is Wi-Fi at some of the base camps. And apparently there's like one person who's like basically monopolized it.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
They can make this happen. Tony's got a lot of money. He can afford a hot spot at the top of Mount Everest. All right. Figure it out.
I feel like MacGyvered his way into this.
Nowhere.
And just run a long Ethernet cord up there. I don't care. However, you got to take this video.
That's how they climb up. That's how they climb up. Is with an Ethernet cable? Is it a Cat 5e or is it a Cat 6 cable? What are we doing here?
Oh my
There's no
god.
There's no Starlink, but there's Everest Link, and I'm not kidding you. That's what it's called. It's it was founded in 2014. And it provides high-speed internet and Wi-Fi in the remote Everest region. It's the only internet provider at the Everest Base Camp, located at a height of about 17,000 feet above sea level, I guess, making it the world's highest internet service.
All right.
There you go.
Darby's
RVD approved right there.
Darby's going to go up there. He's going to film a social media video with the AEW world title flag, and he's going to plant the flag, and that's how he wins it.
I made reference. Hold on. I just made reference to to Rob Van Dam. And now all I can think of is, how's Only Wrestlers doing?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, well, we did a whole deep dive on an old episode, and I there is nothing here that I want from this. They're doing stuff. Violent J chats with Rob Van Dam.
Sure.
Just a whole lot of shit. There's some AI generated shit on this, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, there's your reminder.
Wait, the briefcase contains a photo of Shane McMahon. Yes.
That's it.
And then that's how he debuts.
Anyway.
When is Shane McMahon actually going to debut? Because like at this point, it feels like that's the only thing that can save it.
I don't think he is.
So again, this is the whole thing, is the question of, was there a plan with the Death Riders from like an hour ago into the show?
Joel.
Well, hold on. Okay. No, okay. You know what? Give me your gimmick, and then we'll talk.
The plan is John Mox is going to do an interview and be like, "It sucked on purpose."
Did you not see for 8 months the briefcase was in a Halliburton. That was a reference to the 70s when they used to carry around the title in a Halliburton suitcase. Yeah, Renee thought that was a great idea. My daughter thought it was a sack of shit idea. Her words.
It rules that the Young Bucks just came out there and were like, "Yeah, we were bad wrestlers on purpose and no one got it. We just did all this. We stopped doing all these high spots on purpose." It ruled. People are mad about that. I was like, nah, this is objectively hilarious to me.
It was dumb. But yeah,
it's hilarious.
So this is why I bring it up. It's like, what is the plan? Because if this whole thing with Darby ends with Christian immediately turning around and winning the title, then what does Darby accomplish by beating the Death Riders and then Christian wins? Like the Death Riders comes for naught at that point.
Well, Christian gets the title, but Darby Allin has the soul.
I guess so. It's like splitting the world and it's like splitting the world and the real world's championship.
Darby Allin, by defeating John Moxley, he gets the soul of AEW, and that matters more than the title.
So I thought that's the Fiddler.
The Fiddler. It's like the Riddler, but much worse.
They've got to do this idea. This is one of the greatest ideas ever in podcasting history. They have to do this.
We've had some real bangers. This was one of them. This is why I continue to go back to it. It's like you could play Christian as a real piece of garbage and be like Darby being like, I won and blah blah blah, but then Christian just takes all the glory. Be like, I'm the one who beat the Death Riders. I'm the one who did it. This was my my doing, whatever. You could do that, but then Darby just looks like a dumbass again.
Well, then Darby's leaving for 3 months. So.
See, Mount Everest is the problem. If he wasn't climbing Mount Everest,
you're right. You're right.
You know what he should do instead of
down Mount Everest is what you're saying.
No.
Wait, say that again, Joel.
We need to take out Mount Everest is what you're saying.
No. You know what he should do instead of climbing Mount Everest? He should stand next to Mount Everest and chop it down with the edge of his hand. That's what he should do.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, he's a Darby child.
I am not saying that we need to take down Mount Everest just so we can have our wrestling storyline. I am just saying that maybe Darby should.
I know. I'm trying to incorporate Mount Everest into the storyline. It's going to be the world champion.
Are you insinuating that Dr. Britt Baker should drop bombs on Mount Everest?
you know what?
Mount Everest has healthy cavities.
Wait, no. And Chris Jericho's blimp. She's right.
Jericho blimp.
Danhausen's so pissed off that Jericho has a blimp.
Why did he get one? Where's my blimp? I want the title. And I would have gotten away with it without for you pesky kids.
Oh, that's Danhausen. Yeah.
Yo,
Detective Danhausen, baby.
Detective Danhausen. Where's my blimp?
That's an oldie but goodie storyline right there.
It ain't that old. It's like a month old for us.
Nah, it's more than that, but
I don't know about that.
Nah.
Oh my gosh.
Is Mount Everest a heel or a baby face?
In this case, it's a tweener because we can't figure out what it's going to do to Darby.
Is anybody a heel or a baby face in AEW? You
know Will Ospreay is very firmly a baby face.
Kind of a heel that he won't link up with Darby Allin to help protect the soul of AEW. He's like, no, bro, I'm more important. I'm more worried about having good wrestling matches.
Yeah, he had his focus. He had his priorities. They were set on the Continental
You'll move
Classic.
to me.
Oh,
The soul of AEW is at risk here. And Will Ospreay's like, no, I got to go do this cool looking 450 springboard instead. Don't really care about the soul of AEW.
Listen, here's the thing.
Selfish.
Everyone has an issue with global warming, but everyone also wants their house to be warm for the summer, for the winter time. So I kind of get it.
Selfish. That was a good match, Ospreay and Okada, as expected. Bro, Okada, like, just being bitch Okada against Ricochet, and then
sorry, hold on. Shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
We haven't said a word about Punk and Seth.
Word. Yeah,
we literally have not talked at all about this. Who are you yelling at, delayed brats?
Go,
in all caps.
Go home, bud. Go home.
Yeah, knock it off.
We ain't there.
So Okada just being like, bitch, Okada for Ricochet, and then Will Ospreay comes along. He's like, all right. I respect Will. I gotta be G1. Everyone, that's their only like bait on Okada. It's like, I realize that Okada sucks now and is just saying bitch and going through the motions. I don't want that Okada. I want the G1 Okada. That's Okada. That's the every single Okada promo leading up to the match. And then finally Ospreay comes along. Okada's like, all right. I'll give you the guy that you want. I'm just slapping around Ricochet.
I didn't like that match. I thought it was
wow. Okada and Ospreay?
No, Okada Ricochet.
Oh, yeah, because Okada was like, I ain't doing much for this bald dude. Knock this off. I gotta wrestle again? What? No.
Twice in one night.
You're getting one good match out of me. All right. You can barely get one good match out of me a month. You ain't getting two in the same evening. So you're getting one tonight. Choose wisely. And he's like, all right, Ospreay, I'll give you the good match. Ricochet, sorry, buddy.
Well,
Ricochet.
One is the final. The other one is a character match.
Dude, Okada rules that he's Surfer Okada at this point. He's Balloon Carney Okada, just showing up to work. He's like, hey, you guys, he's got his balloons. Maybe he makes animal balloons in the back. I don't know, whatever hobby Okada has. I was trying to say like Okabi, like Okada hobby. Yeah.
You stopped yourself at the right point.
Yeah. Whatever hobby Okada has, he's making balloon animals. But this is his surfing phase right now.
Let Okada.
Yeah, Okada used to walk around with a balloon. That was like his thing. Lil Kazu.
That was Sad Okada after he dropped the title.
Hey, he was depressed Okada.
Can also
I don't know if he did balloon animals, but I'm saying like that's what he does now.
Singular red balloon. There used to be 99 Luft balloons, but then it got down to 1.
I did not know that.
No, they almost flew away with 99.
Stupid helium.
Okada beating Will Ospreay made sense in certain ways. The story of like Will Ospreay being so stupid to not have taken a shower before his finals match.
God.
No, but it adds.
Why would he?
It adds to it. It's fine.
Why is he gonna shower?
That's true. He got
like
banned.
2 hours, bro.
He had some time. But
when do wrestlers ever shower like in the middle of a one-night tournament though?
No, that's just wrestling fans. Hold up. That's just wrestling fans.
There's some wrestlers out there.
No wrestler like in the middle of a one-night tournament is like, oh, anyway, I'm taking a shower. What are they, CM Punk?
Nice. I got that reference. No rubber ducky though. The Ospreay loss didn't really, I don't know if it really hurt him, but like you said, you can't. No, but like you said, he's got to start getting those wins back up to get somewhere in the world title contention. Is he going after the world title? He should be, but like, he's gonna
have another match against Fletcher. I think
that's the Australia match.
Yeah. So
do you think that's when?
For Australia.
Yeah, I think that's
where Kyle's from. But I think Kyle wins.
They're 1-1, so yeah, I could see it being that way. Yeah, I
literally just said that.
Yeah, you got drowned out by other stuff. Oh, you got drowned out by other stuff. Okay. But yes, and I was also not looking at your face. But Ospreay dropping into Fletcher in Australia, I could see that. And then it's time to move on, I guess. and let Fletcher go after which title?
The TNT title.
TNT title. Yeah.
Danny.
Listen,
Daniel Garcia's out here turning down matches against Mark Briscoe. It's like, nah, I don't know about this. Like, what? What are you doing?
I don't know if he's gonna have a TNT title to go after Kyle Fletcher with.
Well, Fletcher should be facing Okada though, because this annoyed me last year, and I hope they don't make the mistake this year. They at least like kind of course correct. I don't even want to say course corrected because they weren't on a course. But I got annoyed last year after Eddie Kingston won that Brody King didn't get a Continental title match because Brody King beat him in the tournament.
Yes.
Well, now Briscoe beat Garcia in the tournament, and so Briscoe's like, yeah, I should get a TNT title shot. Getting from Daniel Garcia is like, you know what? You should. Like, you beat me. I respect you. Yeah, I'm a fighting champion. Let's do this. And instead, Garcia looked kind of like a punk of like, no, I don't, hold on. And then Tony Khan just makes the match anyway. It's like, oh, well, all right, sure.
He's also not a fighting champion because I believe this is his first title defense.
Well, he's been in the Continental Classic.
I know, and that's why I was mad that he was in the Continental Classic, because I was like, bro, you just won a title. Why do you want to go back in the C2? We got shit to do.
So Fletcher should face Okada at some point for the Continental title because Fletcher beat him in round robin play. Like, Fletcher should make that case of like, I'm the only person who penned Okada because he went to the draw against Garcia.
Are we gonna
I'm the only person
again, or
what?
Well, they don't defend that title anyway. So like, are we actually going to do something?
They do, allegedly.
That's a stretch.
Well, again, if I'm Fletcher, I'm like, I penned Okada. Like, I should get this title shot.
See, this is an idea of yours that I respect. I think this should be one we
all
follow.
My ideas are good.
You know it's bad when Kimmy respects it.
All my ideas are like actually good.
Your fiddler one was very questionable.
Yeah, questionably awesome.
What are you gonna do with Adam Cole otherwise?
He could go after Daniel Garcia.
He lost. The big old loser.
He is a big old loser. Big time loser.
Him challenging for the AEW World Title, or the soul of AEW, which is more important, in a fiddle contest is way more believable than him challenging for the TNT title. He lost.
What's Max gonna do?
Go film another movie.
I don't know. Yeah.
Go invite again. It should have been Adam Sandler joins MJF at every entrance. Back to school to prove to MJF that he's not a fool. And just that he's he should have done the Hanukkah song.
It's Billy Madison, not Happy Gilmore.
Whatever, they're all the same. Those movies all the same. You should have had him come out and sing the Hanukkah song for Max for World's End.
MJF, when you know what would have ruled MJF against Roddy Strong, whenever that match was. What was that? Full Gear, allegedly. When MJF was like, "Oh, this piece of shit company," Adam Sandler should have come out and be like, "You work for a piece of shit company? Do you eat pieces of shit for breakfast as well?" And then crowd would have gone crazy for that. MJF should have been Shooter McGavin's son. I don't know why Happy Gilmore's son. Spoiler.
Wow. Ruining the movie for us.
It was reported.
Yeah, but I don't read reports. I read facts.
Fair.
Oh, here we go.
By the way, you should also know that the end of January, Fightful Select is going to be the best $6 in the business. No longer $5. It's happening, folks. You can lock in now at $54 for 1 year, or starting at the end of January. Fightful Select starts at $6.
$54 for a year? That's it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's a pretty good deal. And you can lock in now and get that $5 a month instead of doing $6 a month.
That's less than $5 a month. $54
Well, that's
a
the
year?
incentive.
Yeah, that's the incentive. I'm pretty sure that we got it. It was like 1 month is effectively free.
That's a good deal. Even $6 is still a good deal. Well, $54 for a year is really good.
Hey, man. Everyone else is higher priced, but I just wanted to let everyone know that it is official. End of January, $6.
You just broke a scoop, Joel.
No, Sean put it out there.
Sean
I just put it on our show.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna ask Sean. I'm gonna ask Sean for a $1 raise.
Yes, Shucky, it's official. Sean did tweet it out a few minutes ago.
I was paying attention to this podcast. I'm sorry.
It's really. Sean's going to talk about it more, but like it is something that is taken seriously because I know for a long time Sean pushed back against raising that price, but also we have a lot of staff, we break a lot of news, we have a lot of content, we want to be able to pay everyone fairly on the site who does a lot of work. $6.90 would have been hilarious, thank you, Ryan, but unfortunately sticking to $6, and that's going to start at the end of January. So for those who want to get in now, $54 gets you a full year subscription and you're ahead of the curve. You can afford it and you can do it, go for it. And you can gift subs, by the way. So ask your family to stop fiddle fucking around.
Fiddle fucking.
That's what we said about Adam Cole. And go get sub Five Select. There's your plug for the hour.
Sean's gimmick's not going to work as well when he's like, I need $5. Like now he's got to hold 6 fingers.
You know, he's
somebody's
holding
break the finger. And someone's
we
going to
gotta
break that single finger.
We got to redo the song now. It's no longer $5 foot long. What are we going to do? It's like $8 foot long at the best now. So what do I care?
I haven't had Subway in so long. There's one right by my house.
I don't go to the one by my house anymore. They're assholes.
I feel like we have a Subway discussion on this show like every month.
That's true. We just did one the other week with Cher.
Yeah. It's way too much Subway talk.
Are you a hater of Subway?
I just haven't had it, and God knows when. I'll probably never have it. Different forever.
I mean, I like Jersey Mike's better personally, I think.
I haven't had Jersey Mike's in forever either.
So what do you do for sandwiches?
I make my own like a man.
That's a lot of work. Whoa.
I'm a big burrito maker guy. I like making burritos.
Made myself a sandwich today before this show.
Perfect.
I make quesadillas. I have a quesadilla maker in my house.
Same. Yeah, big on the quesadilla makers. Yeah.
Love them quesadillas.
Yeah. And I could have gone full heel mode and be like, I make my wife make me a sandwich. I'm just being a heel. It's supposed to be bad, okay?
Right. Hey, I got a guy you should probably retweet while we're here.
Ricochet as like a television character is fantastic. He's got to stay offline.
Yeah, I was going to say, leave it at that, Jeremy. Leave it at that.
Yes, he's a great television character. He's fantastic television character. Stop tweeting. Just
Jeremy Mings.
Oh.
Good stuff. Oh, man. All right. Well, that was World's End. We basically covered all the things that mattered.
Was it a good or a bad show?
I give it a 6 out of 10.
I think it was fine. So I'll be transparent. I did not watch it live. I watched some matches live, but everything else got relegated to Sunday because 10 o'clock came along again. I'm watching my kid every day at home till Thursday. I'm just staying up as long as I need to get through to the next day when I'm up at 6 o'clock, and show was fine. I went back and watched stuff, and show was fine. I'm not going to be like, this is the best AEW show's ever done, and everything was perfect. No, there was some really strong stuff, and there was some stuff that's like, it didn't really need to be this way. We just talked about it for the last hour and a half in a way that was like pretty constructive, especially, making fiddlers. But other than that, it's just a show that happened.
You know
what it had to do.
You were saying
you said 6.5 out of 10?
Yeah, I said 6 out of 10. Yes.
Okay, 6 out of 10. All right. I don't remember what I was going to say. Are you kidding me?
6 out of 10 because of the $6 you'll be spending for FightfulSelect.com.
You know what? It's a free plug. You're welcome, Fightful. 6.
I like the show because it ended by like 11:30, and then the press conference was over by like 12:45 or 12:30 even. So that ruled. So more of that. Do all these shows. Oh, that was a nice, concise show. I'll say that.
Yeah, again, this is what they do when we say something about like the weekly shows aren't exactly hitting, or some weeks they are, some weeks they aren't. We always know that the pay-per-views, the matches, the stories in the matches are 99% of the time they're going to hit, and that's what
maybe it was a 6 out of 10 on purpose. It was purposefully trying to be mediocre.
Exactly. That's always it.
Go again.
It's perfect. All right, Kimmy, Do you have any last words before you ride off into the sunset of
Thank-
mediocrity?
Thank you for having me and letting my final show be on Fightful Overbook.
Thank you for joining us, Kimmy.
Thank you for joining
You are
us.
Of course.
always welcome to crash anytime you would like. You know you're retired. At some point, I'll bully you into doing this show every day when Joel eventually quits.
Yeah, when's Joel gonna retire?
When Joel's full-time gig starts in the future.
I feel like I can't take Joel's place. I don't know.
Believe me, you can take my place. Not anyone can take my place. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. But I'm not announcing I'm leaving. No, I'm not. Don't think I'm not saying that I'm going anywhere.
What is happening?
But
what are we talking about at the end of the show then? What are you going to announce?
it's the end of the year, so we'll just do the thank yous and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere just yet. But people know that I've been actively searching and looking for my next steps professionally, because this don't pay the bills.
I'm trying to give you a full-time 5-day-a-week job, Joel.
Listen, as much as I would love that, unfortunately, it does not pay to the amount that we have discussed.
You should have the kids negotiating of like, I'll do this for you, but you gotta pay me $50. Like, you guys are terrible at negotiating. Or they're like, all right, you can get $50 an hour, but then I take back $49 from you.
No,
And you gotta work for 24 hours.
Yep.
That's
You
not
don't
a
get sleep.
promoter.
Kids are terrible negotiators.
I'm a good negotiator. But yes, have fun talking about Punk and Rollins and all that other crap. And yeah, retired Kimmy out for the fun.
Hi guys!
She's gone.
I wish we had a pie.
That was her death. That was her in the weeds death. Chris Jericho saying hi.
Merked. Yeah, the kids will do shows for V-Bucks. Jason got it in the chat.
Factual. Yeah, Roblox for these kids. They're like, oh, I'm all about it.
Hey, you know what I'm all about? I'm all about upgrades. When one person leaves, a better person arrives.
Joel hates women. Remember this, everybody.
You know what he said? I know.
Come on, he's brought a dog. Come on.
Hi guys, what's up?
Hi. How you doing?
Hi guys!
Hi, Cam.
Hi. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I hate the fucking internet.
Fair.
I've been so away from the internet for the last week that it rules.
Oh my goodness. So we decided to do end of the year awards. I don't know whose idea it was. It started with like an email thread, and they came out today. And I forgot that I don't personally like really get into lists too much because it brings out the crazies. And they are out. Oh my goodness. The names that I've been called today, you would not believe.
Unfortunately, I would believe them because I've seen what the internet's like.
Yeah. So, hey, salute to Will Ospreay and Tony Storm for taking home our male and female wrestlers of the year, respectively.
How could you possibly give that award to Tony Storm? Are you kidding me, Cam?
Because she hasn't had
outrageous.
It's actually been a good joke today. She's barely even wrestled. It's amazing. Yeah. We and we called ourselves like, doing it the right way. So basically we did I want to say it was 5 of us, and we did, first through 5th place, 25 points for first, 20 for second, 15, 10 and 5 for third, fourth, and fifth. Ospreay ends up beating out Cody by 10 points. It's very, very close. I think I voted Cody 1, Ospreay 2. And boy, again, I remember when somebody was talking about how YouTube is like filled with anti-AEW rhetoric. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've never seen that, because I don't dwell on those parts of the internet. And come to find out, it is a very real thing. But on the flip side, now somehow we have in make AEW relevant agenda that led to our votes being what they were. And I just, boy, not calling people motherfuckers is very tough for me. When I first got on, I asked Ariel if I was still allowed to like use the F word, and we kind of had a long conversation about why, even though it may be appropriate, it's kind of a waste of energy. And so I've just like looked at the Instagram comments. I haven't really dived into them, buddy. That is a very interesting place. Somebody called us ghetto smarks, and I was like,
What?
how deep in the racism bag are you? Like, how do those things even exist at the same time? I'm some type of wrestling snob, but also economically disadvantaged at the same time. I don't know how it works. And some people were very like, not mean, but there was somebody on Twitter who was basically like, the reasons that there's clearly an AEW bias. And I was like, I mean, maybe we just thought Will Ospreay had really good matches. And he was like, well, if they're not even beating their numbers. And, I just explained to him, I was like, as somebody required to watch pretty much all American wrestling, we can't base who we think is good or bad off of how many other people are watching it. It's the job. Like, that's who I thought was dope. I don't know what you want me to say. So yeah, it's I'm sure, and the flip side of it, that's the most liked uncrowned Instagram post to date because people just love lists and they love yelling, and they love arguing, and I guess that's fun. I don't know. What I think is dope, I'm like, that's dope. What I don't think is dope, I just go find something else to do. Right?
Easiest way to rile people up is awards and lists, because everyone feels they have to have an opinion on it. And no matter what your opinion is, it is wrong. You can rank somebody second instead of third. And it's like, oh, how's this person second? Like, what do you mean they're second? No, they should be third. It's like, it's one spot there. Are you like that mad about one spot difference? And they are. They legitimately are.
10 points. Like they both, I think Ospreay got 3 first place votes. Cody got 2. And if Cody had been voted second instead of third on one of them, Cody would have won. Like, yeah.
Let me tell you the best part about being burnt out on professional wrestling. I don't give a shit about any of this. Yeah. And I watch the shows and I talk about it on this podcast, and I love doing that because I think our chat is very, very balanced and educated and very like just well in tune with our shtick and what we care about and what we don't care about. They're like, I don't care what social media thinks about my takes because I don't do this anymore. My Twitter's locked down. I don't give a shit. I'll like a few things here and there. My Blue Sky is mostly me making stupid jokes. I don't care. No one needs an end of the year award from me.
I think what I enjoyed about the way that we did it with Match of the Year, with Feud of the Year, we all kind of wrote, 700 or so words about the top thing. And then we all also wrote about everything that finished after that. Because, like it's like you said, what's one spot? What's 2 spots? And like, I think like me and one other person are the only people who put Willow on their top 5 list. I loved what Willow did. Like, it can just be that. I just, oh boy, everybody's got an agenda is what I've found out. Like there's agendas, and I'm just like, it must be tiring making up scenarios in your head about how strangers feel about things. It has to.
The funniest thing about this is like going back to the whole list thing. If you just had like your top 5 wrestlers, if I just said, hey, my top 5 wrestlers of the year are Will Ospreay, Cody Rhodes, Swerve Strickland, Damian Priest, and Gunther, people are probably like, hey, you know what? Those 5, that makes sense. But the second I number them, they're like, absolutely not. Are you kidding me? This cannot be. the top 5? How do you not have this person? How's this person here and this person's there? It's so hilarious to me. It's like, yeah, I could just name top 5 and people are like, yeah, sure. Maybe they're like, I would take this guy out. This person's in my top 5. All right. But the second I say Will Ospreay is 1 and Cody is 2, it's like, oh no, how can that be possible?
And then there's like the terminology. Like, so we did like breakthrough talent of the year, which like is super open to interpretation. Like, just for example, I think I put Nia Jax as my 5th, and she's been around for a long time, right? But I'm like, you're doing the very best work of your career in a strong position. That means something to me specifically.
Yes.
But like, we all knew that Swerve was going to be on our top 5. Swerve had an incredible year. Swerve made history. As soon as we posted the breakout, before we posted the wrestler of the year, how is Swerve not on the breakout list? It's just like, I want you all to enjoy life, and we can disagree, and it can just be that we disagree. Like I put in our Slack, if Ariel and Shaheen are getting payola from Tony, I don't know about it. I want a bigger office.
The funniest part is like, Ariel's probably the last guy that you would.
And like, that's not me like spoiling anything, but like the idea that
right.
No, that is not.
People don't remember February 2023 like I remember 2023 February. Y'all were in Montreal.
I wouldn't accuse like the site that Ariel oversees as being like, oh, you guys are on the AEW take. I'm like, I mean, look, if Ariel's got something cooking behind the scenes that we don't know about, bless him, good job. But yeah, that would not be the person I'm like, this guy's on the AEW take.
The small thing that we did we call the Crownies, which wasn't a vote. It was just kind of us picking our individual favorite things. Of course, Timeless Tony Storm was gimmick of the year, because how do you make that work?
Yeah.
I guess not supposed to work in the main event. Like the main event of a division. Perfect. But promo of the year, it was definitely Rockin' the Rain and Cody. And it's not fair. It's absolutely cheating. Because you guys remember how on the Diva search, they were calling each other all kinds of bitches and hoes. And that was at a time where like wrestlers couldn't say anything bad about one another, to the point where Triple H was like, damn, they can say what they want. I guess I'll just go out and call Randy Orton a cocksucker. And it made me forget that like wrestlers are white and they would actually talk like that if they were allowed to. That would be fascinating. But yeah, I think that thing was, it was Stella Rock was like, fuck that, fuck him, fuck everything. Your mother beating your ass in the rain, looking like straight a shot out of Road to Perdition. It was fucking amazing. Wrestling was fun this year, man. Wrestling was fun outside of the people who try to tell me how I'm supposed to feel about wrestling. Outside of that, it was a very, very fun year.
And then it was all ruined with lists and awards.
Well, now next week, I got to start watching wrestling for 3 hours again on Monday night.
No, you don't.
And Friday night.
No, you don't. I'm telling y'all, all you got to do is watch the first 2 hours on Monday, turn it off, go sleep, wake up, watch the last hour, do what you need to do, and the takes are still hot. It's all good. Friday nights, ain't nobody care about the weekend. Just turn it off Friday, 10 p.m., wherever you are. I don't care. 2 hours in, turn it off, go watch the last hour Saturday morning before you go do whatever you need to do, run your chores, do the groceries, have brunch. I don't give a shit. Go back, do your takes. Everyone's happy.
I was with my good friends. So I was in a group chat with my good friends, Brian Zillum from PW Torch and Caden Lee Caden ain't got no job no more, but Caden Lee, University of Florida graduate, retired from him and Kimmy just out the game. But I was
retired like 20 times, so come on.
Yeah. And they were like, what did they say? They were like, yo, are we gonna watch World's End? I was like, World's End? Like football's on. What are you talking about? There's football on. Like, I mean, Caden's like, well, I need to watch. No, bitch, no, you don't. You need to watch this football. That's what's important. Yeah, people knew how infrequently I watch full shows. Like, Raw came on last night. Man, I made it to, I think Jay came out. And I woke up and there was a movie playing on USA.
Jay came out. He opened the show.
I was 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
I got you. I get it.
That was 10 minutes in. New Day came out, and then
That was also
it was right behind them.
That opening, that intro was also never ending. So there's that too.
Washington clinched on Sunday night, so I might not have had all the energy I needed to on Monday.
Of course,
a lot of whiskey went into that win. Oh my goodness! But yeah.
What you doing tonight, Cam? What's your big New Year's plan?
So that wonderful school I graduated from, University of Texas at Austin. A couple of guys I went to school with opened a wine bar downtown, and some football guys and some Kappa guys, and so we're going to their big event tonight, getting dressed up and drinking $8 champagne glasses all night. It should be fun. It's always nice to see, the guys I grew up with, I guess, who have long since retired from football. But the way that Austin works and a lot of college towns work, as long as you maintain, a good standing, they love you here forever, and you'll get a chance to do all kinds of endeavors. And so, so that is what we're doing tonight. I'm going to ask them for donations towards Booster's Toy Fund. That'll be fun. But what do you guys got going on?
Sleep.
I'm
in bed by 10 o'clock. Having a good time. What's tonight?
Staying up late with the kids. Staying up till midnight with the kids, and then probably sleeping at 12:01.
I was like, Rose was like, I think we should stay home with Booster. And no, we shouldn't.
No, she's right. Pay attention to her.
What if he's afraid of the fireworks? He gonna learn. He gonna figure it out.
Good God.
Yeah. I went to the gym for the first time with him living with me, because he's gonna have to get used to it. But he was fine. A little squealing, but he's perfect. Look at him. He's a perfect little baby.
Very cute.
He is. He's finally developing a real bark. So that's pretty fun.
Oh.
Before Cam leaves, Kevin Knight will sign with. Not gonna say I told you so. Because I did some very obvious things, but Kevin and Hyon were kind of the more unknowns that we put into the next up lineup. But Kev's an all-world talent, man. He is an incredible athlete, maybe a better person, strives to get better, can play the face, can play the heel, tall guy, great shape, good looking kid. I try not to speculate where people will sign, just because, that's, if they wanted me to know, they'd tell me. And so I don't want to have people think that I know something that I don't. But Cam's an asset anywhere, man. I think that, him and Garcia are really tight, and they remind me of each other. Again, young, good-looking kids, big future in front of them, can do all the things you need him to do. He's going to be a player for a very long time. Somebody did ask, if he goes to WWE, can he adjust to their style? I think that, you look at an Austin Theory, who'll be doing wild shit all the time in the ring. I don't think Kevin would have to adjust what he does too much. So wherever he ends up, man, best of luck to the kid. I might text him in a minute, see if I can get a little scoop. I know AJ has been telling me, he's like, Cam, you keep writing things that I'm not in. You keep making books that you don't put me in, even though he did write for the next up lineup. So I wasn't surprised when AJ re-signed and I'm not the one that he told. I was like, oh, okay. That might be on me for not getting to break that news. But yeah, we will see. Jeff Jarrett's never going to retire.
No, man, I'm telling you, he's going to introduce All Elite Gold on Wednesday night.
I love Jeff Jarrett so much. I think my favorite thing about wrestling media in 2024 is me discovering, me really finding wrestling with regret and just diving into it, man. Shout out to Brian Zane. That stuff is incredible. And all I watch is the old WCW stuff. I don't care about WWE pay-per-view reviews. I want to talk about bad WCW every single chance I get. Just excellent.
Hell yeah.
That's
what I watched.
That's the wrestling that matters. Bad WCW and bad TNA too.
Plenty of that. You can watch now TNA anyway.
Yeah. Here you go. I will watch, like, I think he did like an entire Aces and Eights recap, and I was like, wow, this is stupid. But it's also a lot of fun. How far does Washington go in the playoffs? If we play the Rams, I think we win the wild card. I do not think that we beat anybody else. I do think that this season Matthew Stafford probably solidified his Hall of Fame candidacy. But I think that LA we can beat. I don't really think we can beat everybody else. So yeah.
I don't know if they like the Lions are really good, but the Lions are decimated with injuries as well. Nobody in the NFC stands out as like that's the team I'm afraid of.
I think like Philly showed that if their offense isn't clicking, that number one defense can be beat. You know, Jake Daniels carved them up. I think you can't trust Minnesota, right? Right?
Oh,
like,
everybody's just waiting for Sam Darnold to just be Sam Darnold.
Yeah, big squarehead Sam Darnold. You can't trust Minnesota. We're 14-2. It's so ridiculous. If I had to pick a team coming out of the NFC, I think it would have to be Detroit because, like you said, they're decimated on defense, but they've shown, like, I remember Texas played Texas Tech like 2-3 years ago, and Tech just decided we're going to go for it every fourth down and beat us because they just decided they're going to go for it every fourth down. It was terrible strategy. But yeah, so I think that they have the talent on offense to do that. My thing with Philly, I just I like Jalen Hurts. But once a concussion hits, man, the way that he plays, big, strong guy, but how confident are you in doing 8 tush pushes a game with your quarterback coming off of a concussion?
Oh, that's when you just hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley, though.
Well,
like,
he should have been doing it anyway.
Fair.
You know what I mean? But it's I don't consider Philadelphia rivals, and that pisses off my Philly fans, like my Philly friends who are fans. I'm like, why do you talk to me game week like I care what happens between these two teams? You have a Super Bowl. I don't care, and they get really, really pissy. So, but I say that to say I like to see them win. I think it would be really cool for a guy like Jalen Hurts who has always not been the crutch, but has been the ceiling for the teams he's played for. He was the ceiling at Alabama. I think he was the ceiling at Oklahoma. Very, very well could have won that Super Bowl against Kansas City. That wasn't his fault. But it'd be nice to see a quarterback who was told you have real limitations. It'd be nice to see them win. Now in the AFC, Kansas City was bad all year. And now they're like, oh, no, we're good. We're good now, though. Like, our defense is good. And Pat Mahomes has all the guys he needs to throw to now. So be afraid.
I can't at this point even like pretend to pick against Kansas City. Buffalo's really good. It's tough to doubt Josh Allen. Baltimore is really good. Lamar's having another great year. I would not want to play the Bengals if they get in, although I assume that the Chiefs are going to throw the game against
Miami.
Yeah. Is that what they play this weekend? Miami.
Yeah. And then Miami's so nothing. But yeah. I don't know. If the Chiefs do it again, see, this is the problem. People get sick of you winning, and then that's a problem. That the best team should win the football games. And it would be really interesting to see them like put together another one, and then those conversations really start about this guy might be the best ever. Because it's already starting, and it should. He's fantastic. So yeah. We actually won a Super Bowl this century. I'm 40. It doesn't mean anything. I was there for the early ones. That was me. Yeah. But anyway, again, they want it to be a thing. You want to be in the conversation so bad. But yeah. Did you watch my man Wemby on Christmas? Oh my God. He plays chess in the park.
I saw that video.
He played chess in the park.
I saw it.
Good on him.
He's amazing. Chris Paul doesn't have hair anymore, and me and Chris Paul are the same age, and so
I think Chris Paul is going to come back to OKC this year. That's my
really
prediction. Yeah.
You think he was kind of like, hey, I'll get this thing started for you guys in San Antonio, and best of luck to you. That'd be cool. That would be cool. I think like them running the 2-guard set and not having Castle on the floor, I don't like it. He's an aggressive rookie, and he makes some rookie mistakes, but I really want him in the starting lineup. Stephon Castle's very, very good. I watched probably the most basketball I've watched in a day on Christmas, and hey, NBA is really, really fun. I might have been in that group of people. Too many threes. The game ain't, the game's not fun to watch. Nope, very fun to watch. Had a ball. Really enjoyed it.
I think the only people who say that, it's kind of like wrestling, is one, the ratings don't actually matter. Nobody's gonna get canceled. Like the league's not gonna go under, just like AEW is not gonna go under. And two, like they just kind of see clips and they see just the discourse without actually watching or paying attention to what is going on. And so they let whatever the discourse is almost drive their opinions. Like, are there teams that shoot a lot of threes? Do the Celtics shoot a lot of threes? Yeah. Are the Celtics beatable? Yeah, they're not the best team in the league this year. They're actually kind of in a little bit of a slump right now. You want to watch defense? OKC plays a lot of defense. The Magic, who are decimated with injuries, they play a lot of defense. Like, there are teams that not every team just shoots a bunch of threes. Like, there are other teams who do other things. It annoys me with the like Shea is an MVP candidate. And everyone's just like, oh, he's a foul merchant. He gets to the free throw line. Like, that's how he scores 40 points a game, is a free throw line. It's like, you realize like 10 people get to the line more than he does. And most of his points come from like mid-range shots. Like, he kind of plays like Jordan. Like, legitimately, you watch him, like, it's post up, fadeaways, like, get to a spot mid-range wise. Like,
a lot of DeMar in him.
Yeah. And he doesn't shoot a bunch of threes. Like, that's something he's added this year, but it's still like kind of hit and miss. But it's just like, oh, he just gets all these points off of free throws. Like, he's not Harden, who clearly, like, when he was at his peak, was like baiting for a lot of fouls and get to the line 20 times a game. Like, Shea gets to the line. One, he drives more than just about anybody in the league. And so, yeah, he's going to get to the line. But the discourse is, oh, all he does is go to the free throw line. And so people who don't watch just repeat that ad nauseum. It's like, oh, it's free throw. It's like, no, that's not actually how this is working here.
Do you have a sentimental favorite this year?
For NBA title?
Yeah.
No, because my team is good and I want my team to win.
As you should. I would like to see Denver win the title. I'd love to see Russ get a title.
So yeah, look, if I have a sentimental favorite, I'm always gonna root for Russ. Like, I grew up watching Russ. Russ is still my favorite OKC player for everything he ever did with that franchise. The only reason I didn't say Denver is because they've already won one. Like, Russ doesn't have one, but they've already won one. But yeah,
that's
and again, my team's like actually good. So,
hello,
Sean.
That is the bad man right there. If you see him, you bite his ankles. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you're telling a dog to bite something, because we know you've never bitten a dog in your life. You just
so good. That's incredible. Well done.
You on that one? We did. That was good. That's good.
Well,
that's good.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, just getting through it. How are you doing, Sean?
Well, I did this show with Ibu last night, and I was like, guys, we haven't rose the price of Fightful Select in 7 years. And then Jimmy this morning goes, hey, by the way, guys, we're raising the price of Fightful Select by $1 at the end of January. So there you go. Oh, yeah.
We did talk about it earlier on the show. And listen, everyone kind of agrees that this is, it's not a problem and no one's upset. And I'm pretty sure we can continue affording the
I'm sure people are
content that is given.
I thought so. I was always against a paywall. Obviously, it was a good idea. Obviously, it's a very good idea. But like, I pushed back on this as well. But then I looked up. I even looked up the price of inflation compared to April 2018, and it would be like $630, $650. So I was like, you know what, we can handle that. And the one decision I've made there is like, we're not going to raise the $10 tier or the $50 tier, which are basically people saying, we want to see your interviews a few days early, or thank you for reporting our stuff. The $50 tier is mainly comprised of aggregators who are just nice. Like, I think one time Wrestle Talk subscribed to a $500 tier that didn't exist just because they did that so much. And wrestlingheadlines.com did that. Good people over there. But yeah, listen, we hired Ibu, and all of a sudden we got to raise the price.
Hey, man, y'all worked yourselves into a shoot.
I'm saying it's lucrative contract. Let him tell it. We just hired a new guy, so I'm like, I'm gonna have a job for a while because they're throwing a little bit of money around. And
yeah,
guy fired if you gotta get rid of somebody, right, Boosty?
My God.
Guys,
what are you doing tonight for New Year's?
That was like a 10-minute ago conversation.
Yeah,
I don't care. I wasn't watching.
I am going to a friend's wine bar to bring in the new year. So
okay, nice.
Should be fun. Guys, with that, I've been getting called multiple times. I'm sure it's about what dress do I need to bring. So Happy New Year to you all. Everybody
Happy New Year, Cam.
Bye.
Take care. Cam Hawkins. Always.
Cam Hawkins. Wonderful guy. A wonderful, talented guy. Someone that we're very fortunate to have in wrestling media. And just as a wrestling fan in general, just a great guy.
And also someone that honestly, he'll reach out to me and say, got time? And the answer is always yes. Doesn't matter who's on the show. Doesn't matter what's going on. Cam is always bringing something different to the table. And I will never, ever take that for granted when he wants to come and just chat with us. That's always good stuff. So he's always welcome here.
What are you up to,
man,
Sean?
Nothing. I'm staying home. I'm not going out. Yeah, I was very excited for this New York trip last week. And again, I got to see my good friend Destiny. I got to do some really cool things. I was very fortunate to be able to do this stuff. Went to MSG. Of course, there was no Jey Uso or Rey Mysterio or Drew McIntyre or Rhea Ripley, but it was fun. It was a nice experience. And I realized, you know what? Sometimes the best vacations are just not going on vacation. Because I don't like traveling that much. And yeah, that's what I learned. I'm not a sightseer. Like I go and I catch a glimpse of something and I go, oh, well, that's cool. Where can we eat now? Had the best steak of my life there. Compliments of Destiny FOMO. Big shout out to her for doing that. Had some New York pizza, had a New York bagel, which we have the place we get bagels from here flies their bagels in from New York every day. So it was good though. That was cool. It was a nice experience, but I think that I was looking forward to it because I took time off from traveling after my grandmother passed. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll like it. And then I looked at my slate and I'm like, wait, I've got Vegas in a few weeks for this tourism gimmick. I got 2 Indianapolis drives. I've got Toronto, which I'm actually excited for. Toronto's a second home to me. Get to see this fella up here and film some more skits that we definitely won't ever use.
I was going to say, oh yeah, that's on the docket, is it?
Maybe that will be on the $10 tier of Fightful Select eventually. I've got Dallas. I've got Vegas again. I don't like Vegas, so I'm just like, man, I'll stay home more.
Vegas is like an acquired taste. There are times where I love going to Vegas, and then there are times where I'm like, get me the hell out of here. It really depends where you're staying, how long you're there, and what you're there for.
So this last trip to Vegas, because I've been 2 or 3 times before for events. The last trip wasn't so bad because it was the overnight I did for the presser that the press event that they did. And basically I told WWE, all due respect, I'm not going if I don't have media opportunities. And they accommodated me extremely well. I was very fortunate. I think I stayed at New York. It was a quick little walk there. New York is fine enough. You know, it's whatever. It's a nice enough hotel. And got the hell out. Next month, so Denise and I are being brought out to do some like tourism board thing. And it's going to be like hanging out with my little sister for 3 days. I'm already like looking up talent that I can do interviews with there, but that's a direct flight from Lexington, which they've just started to do. But people who travel enough know that like things like that are very particular to towns like Lexington. There's not flights going back and forth all day like Chicago or something like that. They've got one flight out and one flight in all week. They want you to go out Thursday and come back Sunday after you lost all your money. That's what they want you to do. So that will be fun. The trip WrestleMania week will not be fun because I got to fly out of Louisville for that because that's all they had. But I'm sure that everybody is very excited to hear about my travel. Indianapolis, I'm pumped for that. Myself, my lovely wife, approved as media for that show. That'll be a lot of fun.
The Royal Rumble is the show you might be thinking of.
What did I say?
That show. You were kind of blanking.
Yeah, that show. Yeah, the Royal Rumble. I wasn't blanking. I just forgot. Yeah.
One and the same, pal. One and the same.
Yes. But yeah, I'll be doing that. I've got to go back for Squared Circle Expo, which is a nice trip every year. Man, I went from not traveling for 6 months outside of some overnights to Chicago where Mojo Rawley bumps me around to now back at it, by God. Back at it, by God.
It's gonna be a busy 25 for everyone.
I could have had Joel do the Toronto stuff, and I will say this: you handled that very well when you did. But I miss Toronto, man. I miss it.
I'm gonna be happy to have you do this. I was very transparent. I don't think I did very well with Money in the Bank. I think I could have been better. But if there's an opportunity to do stuff with whoever when we get to March, I will absolutely be around.
Yeah, I'll probably be asking you to help me in some capacity.
I will always be available. But hey, man, it'll be nice to see your face. It's been a few years, so I'm looking.
Has it been a few years? Really?
Years. I think it's been since maybe 22.
My gosh, this will be like my 6th or 7th Toronto trip because after the pandemic, I didn't come as much. I came a couple times, but I'm excited for it, and it should be a lot of fun. And it was one of those where I was like very ambitious about my travel schedule because I don't like doing the once every 2 or 3 weeks thing, but God damn it, here we are. But I will say this, I did book my Dallas hotel before they announced it because I knew where that show was going to be. And I was like, let me book across the street from Globe Life.
Did you got the good hotel out of that?
Yeah, I got a good one out of that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I did. But my God, guys.
Who knows?
What a year. What a year.
Maybe Kenny will come to Toronto this year in 25.
I don't know if they have that territory anymore. They don't have a lot of motivation to. Oh, look who showed up to work.
Literally, look at you.
Look who showed up to
Andrew
work.
Zarian.
Boss, I'm here. I'm back.
Nice eyebrows.
Thank
He
you.
no-showed me in New York. He definitely didn't offer to meet me and hang out with me or anything.
I did reach out, and I said, let's
He didn't
get together.
offer me any hospitality.
I could have offered you all the hospitality in the world.
Hey, listen, buddy. Lexington has direct flights to New York starting in the summer. So
Tell me anytime.
the travel diva here that is like, just fly me in and out of Lexington. You best believe I am booking my SummerSlam flight like very quickly.
So wait, you didn't have a direct flight to New York?
No. So we live in Lexington. Before this, we lived in a place called Ewing, Kentucky. And I would always say it's equally inconvenient to get to Lexington and Cincinnati. But now I am in Lexington. So I am an hour away from Louisville's airport and about 70 minutes away from Cincinnati's, which is actually in northern Kentucky. But we have a wonderful regional airport here where I can roll out of bed 30 minutes before that flight takes off, go there, park, get through TSA immediately, and get on my flight. So that's what I try to do. But they just announced recently that they are finally adding New York direct flights to LGA. I'm so excited.
My dog is trying to escape. Give me a second.
I saw him get up and like.
Does he have his dog captive?
I mean, one would assume, given the room size.
He just hold his dog like Cam did the entire interview. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like Cam's a real professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My dog is 120 pounds. And my mother-in-law just walked into the house, and he's trying to make a great escape.
Cam was just on here, and he held his dog the entire time.
Yeah.
Why did
You want me
do
to?
the same.
I'll bring Nico in.
Yeah, Nico's a lapdog by all intents and purposes.
I mean, that's the problem. He thinks he is. He thinks he is.
I'm sure. It's like that photo of Stephanie McMahon with their old Mastiff, like sitting
Yes.
on her.
Yeah, it's a Bernese Mountain Dog. So
I love it.
yeah.
Oh my God.
How does that thing get around your
We used to
head?
have a Newfoundland, and like I had no concept of how big it would become. Boy, was I in for a surprise.
Yeah, we got billeted when I was with the band once at someone's house. They had 2 Newfoundlanders, and they're like, "You're gonna sleep down in the basement." Oh, by the way, there's 2 Newfoundlanders. Don't worry, they sleep in their cages. And I'm like,
The dogs are going to be joining you.
yeah, pretty much. I was like, all I can hear was the dogs snoring all night. It was ridiculous.
Sean, did you get your cheese platter?
I didn't. Did you get one?
No, but they sent me this, which is so weird. I think it's a message.
It's a puzzle.
Oh, what's going on?
It's a puzzle.
It's cheese and wine. It's a cheese and wine puzzle. I have no idea what's going on.
It is so funny when they did send me that. It was in response to me, making fun of the guy who posted his cheese platter, which is funny. It was a charcuterie board that like 100 media members got from a cheese company. It wasn't directly from WWE. It was for a shitty media event. But still, he was the one that posted his and was like, "Oh, look at what I did. They love me." But that's why I posted that I wanted their finest French cheese as a rib. And they did it. They sent it. The number of people that thought that it was, it's a reference to him wanting some cheese with his wine. That's why they sent it. I was like, God damn.
Oh my God.
Got to give him credit for that creativity.
Well, you also got a nice holiday card from WWE with the cheese and everything on it. So that was a very real
There were so many people that thought I was like taking shots. Like
you know what? I didn't get it. I didn't get a card. I didn't get a card this year.
You're not a well-respected legend like Sean Ross Sapp is.
What they needed to do is fill Mark Henry's gas tank by the looks of it. But
that's why I tell everyone, leave the bits and the jokes off of your socials. Bring them here, not here, but like bring them to your shows. People understand it. The context is lost on socials. People just want to be automatically angry. Forget it. Not worth it.
Yeah. We got some stuff we're working on, guys. By the way, we're going to enhance our YouTube channels. I wouldn't say like cultaholic style videos, but we're going to do some videos like that like cover history of wrestling and stuff like that. So if anybody watching this has experience in scripting and producing those, hit me up. We're also going to be looking for sponsors for those videos because we're going to invest in those and like put some spend into them because you can only get so many subscribers by posting a bunch of interviews and live shows. So we're going to do some videos like that don't age. I decided to do this because I, on Twitter, posted a year-old timeline of CM Punk video that I did, and it got 100,000 views overnight. So,
wow,
it's like, we should probably fucking do that.
When shit hits the algorithm, you kind of got to strike on it.
Got to do it, but
you guys aren't doing some big New Year's Eve live stream?
This is it, pal.
This is it.
Yeah,
the show is on at 3:30 in the afternoon instead of in the morning. Why do you think I'm here?
That was my thing. That was that was me. I had to watch the kid this morning. I had to take him to a thing this morning. So
we're doing a show tomorrow at 10, aren't we, Joel? Or
no, we're not. It is New Year's
What?
Day. No,
I thought we were doing a show tomorrow.
No, we're not. What are we going to do? Talk about NXT? I mean, at this rate, we may as well be talking about Raw tomorrow.
That's what I was going to say. We might as well talk about Raw because I don't know how much longer the show's going to go.
I love the idea of having a morning show. Not that like it's my dream job of just being a morning show guy.
That's what I do.
My nightmare is waking up in the morning.
See,
I want to do this show 5 days a week. Joel is a coward and won't do it.
I will do it with a full-time employment contract of some sort.
And I understand that.
$1 extra a month since we're raising.
Joe, I do mine for free. What are you talking about? I do mine for free. I do a morning show.
What I've been telling you guys to do for 3 years and get some fucking sponsors. That's
another thing.
So y'all can hit up some fucking sponsors and keep it. And then there you go.
And I've never, and by the way, I will, because Sean's here, I want people to know and hear it. I have never once complained about any of the payment that I get for this show or any of the support.
Now, hold on. There was a time when you wouldn't do the show and I came to you and you said it was eerie. It was almost exactly like Beyond the Mat, the Jake Roberts scene. You're like, if you don't get me some crack, I'm not doing the show.
And I said, I'm just a little baby bird.
And then our good friend Anshul was going off on you, and she's like, all you need is a green drink. All you need is a green drink. You said, is it good? And she goes, no, but I do it anyway.
Gonna fist fight that person.
I will get, but
but yes, I've never once hated the support of this site or anything.
She does 30 push-ups a day. Every day she posted on Instagram.
Just 30?
30. I mean, listen, it's worked for her. I'll say that. She's got toned arms. I mean, she's a tiny lady anyway, but yeah,
yes,
works well for her.
Hey man, if it works, go for it. If it keeps you healthy, get on it. Get your sponsors. Come sponsor this show. Make me stick around.
Hey, since we're giving plugs, guess who's back on Tuesday?
Us.
I would hope Andrew Zarian and Rich.
Andrew Zarian and Rich are back on Tuesday. I needed a month off. I was done. I was over it. I was finished. It was nice to be at the Hammerstein, and people were like, "Why haven't you done an effing show?" That was nice to see.
Yeah, why haven't we been able to like angry content?
Yeah.
I was feeling it in the last week, like anything remotely resembling like a serious, hard-hitting story. I was just like, Robert, Colin, Jeremy, will y'all please do this? I couldn't handle it.
Listen, it's been a tumultuous like 2 years for pro wrestling. I've been covering this, I don't know, like 10 years. Sean, do you remember, like, outside of, WCW and the Benoit situation and Eddie passing away, like, I can't think of a year recently, like the last 2 years, that we've had one big story after another. It was fascinating to see how things are just rapidly changing.
Yeah, it is. It is. My God, man. Like not just that, but like the way that we consume everything is going to be so different starting tomorrow. Like Nielsen ratings are, for the most part, obsolete in pro wrestling, which is wild. You know what I would do if I were Netflix and WWE and Max and WBD and AEW? I would lie, is what I would do. I'd lie.
I said this. People got mad about this. I said that AEW should say that 25 million people watched Collision and Dynamite.
I wouldn't put a number on it. I wouldn't put a number on it. I mean, like, I know people will be like, Sean's encouraging them to lie. Yeah, hell yeah, I am. Everybody.
But they're going to. Listen, that Netflix number, I'm telling you, it's going to be like 14 million people.
Oh. Did you see at first where they were Netflix was feeding supposedly to some media members that 200 countries watched that NFL game? I don't think there's 200 countries.
I think
there's like 195 recognized.
That's hysterical.
Like, what are we doing? But if I were WBD and AEW, Netflix and WWE, I would immediately say this was the most watched AEW Dynamite of all time. Most watched Raw of all time. You could phrase it certain ways.
I'd put numbers. If I'm AEW, I'd say 25 million. Dare WWE to call my bluff and say 30 million watched Raw on Netflix to say they did a bigger number.
So Tony can do a presser and be like, this is great for the wrestling industry. 55 million people watch. This is great.
That number. I mean, they're not gonna go based on the watch hours. They're not gonna go. Do you remember that was the big deal? Watch hours. That was the big deal for WWE. They just kept speaking about watch hours.
Eyeballs.
Platforms.
It's all out the window now. It's all out the window. You click on it once and they're counting
metric. They used the eyeballs metric for a while, and then I was like, now hold on. Like, listen, my wife is blind in one eye. She wasn't watching out of both eyes. How can we be so sure that it's an even number?
Well, that's how they wanted to get your eye count up.
Well, you guys know what happened to radio, right? With
what
ratings?
About the people who were watching with their third eyes?
So when radio went from the QAM to the people meter, it changed everything. Like, all of radio essentially collapsed as far as ratings went. When you did QAM, it was a book. You filled out a book and it was a journal. And what would happen, somebody knew somebody at the station and the program director, and then you would write in, like, you listen to Howard Stern 24/7. And then they went to the people meter, which is a Canadian way of doing it, Joel. And they realized in New York City, instead of, Howard Stern, 92.3 and 103, 5 KTU and Z100 being the top station, it was dominated by Spanish radio. And it sent the advertisers into a frenzy because the numbers, it was such a tremendous gap in the number that they had from the previous quarter that they did the QAM scale, QAM radio rating. It totally collapsed it. So I don't know how this is going to change as far as advertisers go for the shows, if they're going to still look at that. But I think this is a great safety net for both with dwindling cable numbers. Both of them are declining.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a given, especially AEW. We've seen it. Now AEW can turn around and be like, no, listen, our audience is very different. They're generationally younger and they're hipper and they're not big on cable. But look, 400 million people worldwide watch Dynamite.
What were the baked numbers? That's all I want to know. What were the baked out live numbers?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
What was Watch Wrestling?
Yeah, what was the Watch Wrestling numbers?
The crack streams. Oh, but they're gone now. They're
They
done.
always come back.
Heard about that. That's so disappointing.
They always
all
come
gone?
back.
Listen, if I were one of these NBA, NFL companies, listen, the amount of money that like meth streams and crack streams cost them, I'd get them on the payroll. I would hire them as anti-piracy consultants.
It's just like the FBI, they get the people who are hacking into government websites and they're like, hey, we'll work for us now instead.
Oh, the number, like one of my favorite YouTube series is How Crime Works from Insider. And it's really great. And the number of people that end the thing being like, oh yeah, now I work for the government and I'm a consultant.
There you go.
Because I'm really good at what I do. Like, or they're professors and they explain this stuff. It's just it's the way to go. Sometimes you got to get in bed with the enemy.
Have you watched the Vice Informer series?
No, I haven't.
So it's basically people who put on masks. They mask their voice. They're dressed in like baggy clothes, and they're talking about their experiences doing this, like all different sorts of shit. Some people are like, I was a UC, an undercover cop for 30 years. Some people work for Exxon. Some people like dealt with multi-billionaires and their habits and things like that. It's telling you all about the stuff that like you don't see from that perspective. And it's amazing. It's called Informer. It's on the Vice.
Informer on Vice. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to definitely check that out. I
They're
watched
like 10-minute videos. Yeezy, watch them.
It's so funny because I'll tell this story here because I don't think it'll get picked up. So I watched the movie Catch Me If You Can last week, one of my favorite movies of all time. Incredible movie. And on Christmas morning, I woke up and it wasn't to my number, but it was to a number from the person who had been harassing me nonstop, who had done all that terrible stuff I had indicated a while back. And I immediately looked at the time and it was like 7:20 in the morning, my time, which would have been 4:20 on Christmas, his time. And I thought of that scene where Tom Hanks was like, you don't have anybody else to call right now. It's 4:20 in the morning. You're photoshopping pictures of me on Christmas morning. You ain't got no kids. You don't got no wife. You're sitting at home worried about me. That's the type of shit I love. And I saw Catch Me If You Can the other day. And of course, he ended up working for the government as well. Phenomenal.
The money.
Great movie. Great movie. Also, I watched Home Alone 2 in Times Square from my hotel room. That was fantastic.
Yeah, where were you staying? Were you staying at the W?
I was staying at the Edition, which Destiny FOMO met us, and she's like, "You're paying for the view," because we got in there and we were expecting for what we paid some extravagant room. A 5-star in New York is like you're pushing it to get to 4 here in
Well, you want it to be in Times Square, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Well, until I got to Times Square, I wanted it to be in Times Square.
Yeah.
Because the ride from JFK to Times Square was longer than either one of my flights.
You should have taken the subway.
Yeah. No, there's no subway. You can't take the subway.
So you can't do it.
Can't you get a bus from a bus to the subway?
Joel,
from JFK?
Joel, let me ask you. Look at me with those beautiful eyes. Have you seen what those buses look like from JFK?
Listen,
to Midtown Manhattan.
I fly in, yes, and you're right. But also, I fly into Newark, so what the fuck do I care?
Buddy, the excitement I had when I looked at my return ticket and saw LGA on it instead of JFK, I was thrilled. I was
that's Sean. This is a new phenomenon because LaGuardia was the dumps. Okay, terrible. The dumps. LaGuardia is 10 minutes from my house. I go to JFK. I don't go to LaGuardia because it was so bad. The last time I flew out was LaGuardia. I'm like, oh my god, this is like beautiful. This is a new. This should not belong in Queens.
So it's so funny. Our flight was going to result in us waking up at 5:30 in the morning Saturday, and we sat at lunch Friday. I was like, "Would you hate going back tonight?" She was like, "No, let's go home." And we got our flights, and we're able to get a refund for the next day. But it was to LGA, and I was like, "Oh my god, hell yeah!" It was a ghost town there, outside of this Lexington airport that I was in. Then it was probably the 27th. That is the emptiest I've ever seen a New York airport in my entire life. It was
what time was the flight?
Our flight ended up being at 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Yeah. So I like
to fly out super early. I get on that first 6 a.m. flight out. Yeah. And it's sometimes hit or miss. Sometimes you go and it's a total ghost town. Other times it's like a Turkish bazaar. People are walking with their goats. They have, duffel bags of bread that they're bringing to wherever they're going. I've seen the most insane stuff. I saw this one man. He had it was a garbage bag, okay? A garbage bag, like black bag, taped up, and he's going through. He's trying to check it in, and they're like, "What is this?" And he's like, "VCRs," and he opens it, and it's VCRs. Just I want to say like 30 VCRs stacked on each other on a dolly.
Amazing.
I know a bunch of tech YouTubers who
I'm gonna need a VCR.
I am a part of somehow I got involved in a Facebook group that is all about CRT TVs, and
I've seen this.
I've made that mistake. I'm in one of those too.
And now I just see all the things where people are selling VCRs and CRT TVs. A big thing is they'll go to their like high school, the alumni of they were a high school, they went to high school at, and they'll just be like, "Hey, do you have any left over?" And they almost always do, and then they'll take it and resell them for hundreds of dollars.
Amazing.
So I mean, VCRs.
I have like 6 of them in my attic. I have all my CRTs still up there. Not because I'm collecting; I can't move them.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, someone will probably come and pick it up if you make them.
Isn't that wild? Like that is one of the things that has become inflation proof is televisions because they're so much lighter, they're more inexpensive.
Yeah.
Like you're looking back at the ones, man, in 2005, I still had a sit it on the floor box wooden with a dial TV. That's how broke I was.
Wow.
Like we were slapping.
You know what? That TV could be sold for $1,000 now.
A sandal to make sure the picture came in. I watched Shawn Michaels do the Hulk Hogan feud on one of those TVs.
Good Lord. I was watching there was a video again on YouTube that was someone found like the holy grail of CRTs. It was a 43 or 45-inch CRT.
Oh wow.
They actually went and like tracked it down. It's in Japan at some restaurant that was like closing down. It's a whole story. If you want to find it, like just look up like Holy Grail CRT TV. And they found a guy in Japan who like brokered the deal, and the owner of the TV was just like, "I just want it gone. You can have it for free. You just got to move it." And the dude's like, "I'm in the States. TV's in Japan." They like boxed it, shipped it, did a whole thing. They did a whole story on it. It was wild. And these are like CRT obsession people. Yeah, like Pedro in the chat is saying, I just saw that exact video. I guarantee you we're talking about the same video, and it was amazing. But like, yeah, it's inflation proof TVs.
Yeah, and pizza in some ways has stayed that way. Although if you want to get a decent pizza, it hasn't survived inflation. But
well, what's a pie? How much is a pie by you?
Well, it depends.
Like a normal large pie.
So
plain.
Where I live now is so much different than where I lived 3 years ago. Because like you basically got Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where I go now, I go to Goodfellas, which is like the New York style pizza, and it's probably like $22, something like that.
Yeah, $22. Yeah, it's about that. $22, $23 here.
Yeah.
It was. I remember. I mean, 20 years ago, right? Like, you could do the math. 20 years more than that. 22 years ago, it was $11 cash.
Fair. Yeah.
So, if you think about it, in 22 years, it went up only $10 or, $11. That's not that bad.
But like if I get 2 slices here, it's enough to fill me up. Back in the day when I was getting, and that was $10. If I was going to Pizza Hut 15, 20 years ago where I was before, because it's the only option, a full pizza would cost about $10, $15.
Yeah.
And it would fill me up maybe.
I was going through some old stuff this weekend because I was helping my mom move. Found a ticket from a WCW show, February 1996.
Oh boy.
100 section. 100 section. This is like a Nitro show. $12.
Amazing.
$12
Wow.
for a WCW ticket.
Hold
In
on. It's so
1996.
Jimmy has
something,
pitched so many times, like doing like a Fightful live show, and I'm like, man, I already feel weird charging people for wrestling news. I wouldn't want to become the Lonely Virgil meme. So like if he charged for tickets, it would have to be like $3 or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that with everything costing as much as it does today.
So,
all right. So look, I have my old tickets. Okay. I have one here. Okay. Let's take a guess. Okay. Nassau Coliseum. This is SmackDown, March 14th, 2000. This is section 317. It was not a great seat.
$15, 1.5.
21 bucks.
I'm getting all the tickets I've paid
got
for
$21.
Jesus
Hold
Christ!
on.
This show's about to become
Okay, this
show-
now.
this show's
Okay,
about to
you
go
ready for this?
blasphemy levels of length.
The Hammerstein Ballroom, August 1st, 2016. I had floor seats. Okay, so we could do the math. We could do the exact math what this was. This was floor 8, row AM seat 14, row I seat 6. I don't know. There's like 18 different things. This was for their ECW on Sci-Fi show from the Hammerstein Ballroom. This is CM Punk's debut. $35.
I was gonna say $40.
Get like me, hater.
Oh my God! Look at that guy.
Look at this. Look at this. I can't even untangle them. It's like when the snakes just you open up the door and they're all just banging together. Look, we got StarCast, we've got Double or Nothing. What's this? 2K23 and 2K24 events.
Oh, look at this one. I found another one.
My God, look
Yeah,
at
this
that.
This was a good show.
Top
NXT
two.
Live at the Felt Forum,
Where's that at?
the theater at MSG. They ran that. This was the best. I bought this thing. Okay, I bought this over there, and I was like, I want to get that poster, and I got so stoned, I didn't realize I bought the autograph one, and it was like $200.
I gotta say, seeing the amenities at Ford Field last year, MSG last week, even Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium, which, a lot of people in Dallas say it's run down now, but compared to where I've had season tickets in Cincinnati, I was like, man, they really just threw down a slab of concrete. Jeremy, you were there with me for a game. Like, they just threw down a slab of concrete and some seats, and we're like, here you go. And I was just like, oh, man, this is a bummer. MSG is so nice. So nice.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you, what'd you think of the Garden?
I loved it. Loved it. I was in a suite with some GCW people, which was pretty funny. But because I was dreading asking WWE for comps because I knew I would get hit with the, haven't you heard? Fightful reported that we don't do comps anymore. I just knew that was going to happen. So I did.
There you go.
Oh, look at that.
I think
I got
Brett handed this to my son. Brett handed this to my son, leaving the Hammerstein.
Make sure your daddy sees this one.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I had mentioned before, like, I wish Rhea and Ray and Jey Uso and Drew were on that show.
Yeah.
It was definitely a little lacking. But
that's a special building, though. The Garden feels special for anything you go. And I'm not saying that because I've been to the Garden like 150 times in my life. But when WWE invited me and Rich to their 9/11 show that they did there, where they did the screening for the 9/11 special, and it was really cool because they did a cocktail hour, and you went, and I was Steph was there, and we were talking to Steph, and I was like, she's like, oh, this is my building. I'm like, no, it's not. How many times have you been here? She goes, I guarantee I've been here way more than you have. And we were just going back and forth on how many times and when our first time was. She had me beat by like 1 million,
Yeah.
But it's such a special building to be in. And they treat you so well. It's not like the Hammerstein Ballroom that grabs you because you have a 1-day-old press pass on your jacket and they tell you to remove it.
I told you should have yelled for Tony.
Yep.
Well, you know what the problem? You know who I blame? Justin Wang. Justin Wang was the problem.
I love Justin Wang.
And not anymore.
I go to Justin's like, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm on the balcony. He's like, oh, come down. And I was like, no problem. So I'm going, and this guy's like, he's like, listen, I can't. You can't get through that way. I'm like, yeah, I can. And I hand him a 20, and he's like, no problem, go right in there. And somebody, I guess, like somebody. I brought no. I have 20. I'm like, yeah, take the 20. I'm just going to say hello. I'm not doing anything crazy.
What do you mean? No, I have the 20. Of course
New
you
York.
have the 20.
It's New York. It's a long state. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I said, listen, if I'm not back in 5 minutes, you can throw me the fuck out of here. All right, I'm saying hello.
TSA?
What is this? What is this? TSA? What is this? LaGuardia? And he's like, no problem. I go through, and this lady runs behind me, and she's like, you can't be here. Your pass is old. I'm like, what pass? I'm like, no, my ticket is 105. I have my ticket, and I'm holding my ticket. He goes, no, that. And I had it on my jacket from Friday. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I was here on Friday too. He's like, you need to hand that to me. I said, I'm not handing you anything. I go, Justin Wang asked me to come down here. I'm making a scene, but like half smiling. And the guy's like, you got to go. You can't, you've already yelled. Everybody sees you now.
Oh my God.
So I went back up to my seat. That was it. They didn't let me.
Oh my God.
I got ripped off at the $20. When I went down, I should have asked for my money back. And I'm screaming. I'm like, I gave him $20. I go, I gave that fool $20 to let me through.
You should have told him I got a gift for Tony Khan. I got Time Cock on DVD. It's for Tony.
Have you met the Time Cock? I'm the Time Cock.
Prove it. Puts the glasses on.
Tell Tony Time Cock is here.
I wonder if we could do a thing where Tony signs a copy of Time Cop and we auction it off.
Better yet, I wonder if he can get it on our
I'm the Time Cock.
Time Cock.
Now I got to go redo my hair.
I was going to say MSG is the only venue that I have willfully and happily done the tour twice. And I like doing venue tours once in a while, but like they are the ones that I will go and do that particular tour twice. And I recommend it to people who go to New York, want to see, really historic sports venues. Yeah, they give a lot of history. You see a lot of the venue. As long as nothing big is happening that day, you get to see most of what's there. But yeah, I've done it twice and it was just so cool.
Well, the wacky thing is it's like on the 5th floor, the Garden.
Yeah.
Right? And people don't realize they spent $1 billion a couple of years ago, and they lifted the building while it was still being used. They lifted the entire building up whatever feet while it was still being occupied and things were happening. It's insane how they did this.
That's impressive.
And then the city wanted them to move, and then the city's been trying to get them out of there.
My God. I loved it. I was surprised like where it was located and everything because I mean, listen, the brilliant minds in Cincinnati and really every river town are like, hey, we've got a river. You know what we should do? Put a baseball stadium, a football stadium, and a concert venue there. That way there's only traffic on one side of the venue.
Yeah.
That way we can get things real fucked up. Fortunately, for a tourist, MSG was so easy to get to. So easy to get to.
Yeah, you just think for you just walk down a couple blocks.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, I took a cab, but still, I was done.
That's my walk.
Back.
I'm there every day. That's how I come from. I go from Bayside to Penn Station, and then I'm right under the Garden. I'm there every day. It's actually one of the most convenient things in my life. Talk about not convenient. I'm about to drive to Long Island to go to dinner.
Sounds awful.
Sounds terrible.
So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna abandon you guys. Good to see you guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Sean.
Jeremy, it was wonderful to see you. Joel, not so much.
It happens.
Love you guys.
New Year,
see you later.
Zarian.
Happy New Year. I'll see you soon.
Take care of yourself. Well, Jeremy, 2 hours and 53 minutes into the show. CM Punk and just Seth Rollins.
Are we taught what?
We got a few minutes. I don't want to make this. I don't want to redo the thumbnails. Really, what it is.
We're doing a show tomorrow.
No, we're not.
I just sworn we were going to do a show
Not
tomorrow.
because it's the first of the year.
Why so?
No
one cares. Like January 1st.
I could do Thursday morning. How's that? You gonna do the spotlight?
Yeah, I'm already doing a show Thursday.
Well,
morning.
we'll be back. We're back on Friday. There'll be more to talk about Friday than there will be tomorrow.
No, I know. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, let's just save Raw for tomorrow.
I know. I thought about that. We don't have a lot of time, but let's get this one, and then we can talk more about the Friday on Friday. We can talk more about Monday on Friday or whatever.
Why aren't we doing a show tomorrow?
Because tomorrow I still have the kid at home, and it's hard enough trying to keep him away from the door to my office during those times.
Just hit him with the door, Joel. We've been over this.
Not happening.
I was fully prepared to do a show tomorrow. I thought we were doing a show tomorrow.
No, unfortunately, I can't do tomorrow because it's also New Year's Day. Let people enjoy their day off.
SP3, you want to do a show tomorrow?
Let's talk about the damn thing. There was a really brilliant dichotomy of these two who are very similar to each other, but for some reason, CM Punk is like the new guy who is not actually the new guy, and Rollins is the stalwart who never left, and therefore is the old man in the conversation. And it really made me feel like CM Punk got the win here. And what was funnier to me, because what's funnier to me is they're going to Netflix next week, and this was the last Raw in USA. And I was thinking about it as like, Punk is Netflix, Rollins is USA. This was them basically saying like this was Punk doing a verbal, goodbye to USA. And it feels like Punk might just win on Netflix.
I mean, I've kind of thought that Punk was going to win this match. The promos were good. The back and forth between them were good. It was their truth, right? Whoever you want to side with is who you're going to side with,
right,
on this thing. Like, I understood the points that Punk was making. I understood the points that Rollins was making. I think if you are against the corporation, you're probably on Punk's side. But if you, I get where Punk or where Rollins was coming from. Hey, dude, you did leave. You did go to the competition. You did go on your friend's podcast. You tried to tear this place down. I actually stayed. I tried to build something up. I tried to elicit change from the inside. Look, did Rollins succeed? Not really. It's like Seth Rollins didn't bring about all this great change.
Kevin Owens wasn't the one Seth Rollins wasn't the one who wouldn't come to work until people started wearing masks during a pandemic, and then he would come back to work. No, Rollins was there.
Right. So, yeah, I thought Rollins didn't make as strong of points. His delivery was fantastic. But I also see where Punk didn't make as strong of points, where like I had to leave because I was burnt out and I didn't like the guy that loved you, and like I brought about this change. Like, did Punk really do this? Like, is CM Punk the reason Daniel Bryan was in the WrestleMania 30 main event? It's pointed to as a reason. But was it, CM Punk walking out, or was it, Bryan actually got over and they realized they were stupid and they changed course on things? Depends on, if you ask Punk, probably thinking, yeah, that was the reason. But Punk didn't bring about all this change by leaving either. Now, look, the CM Punk chance that stayed around forever until basically he went to AEW, like, that didn't change much, but those were all very purposeful. When, the crowd didn't like a segment, they would chant for CM Punk. It wasn't necessarily we want CM Punk back. It was, this sucks. We think this sucks. We chant for CM Punk. That was a strong point by Punk. And they each made their points, and whoever you decide to go with, then you decide to go with.
Do we want to talk about this all caps on purpose?
I don't know. Like,
we've talked about this for months now. I don't know if you've been here or not paying attention to it. Asking, are we okay with the blurry heel face dynamics now? Am I vindicated? No, you're not, because your vindication comes with not having listened to the last 2-3 months of conversation, wherein we discussed the only person that can do this properly is CM Punk, and he's the only one. I mean, you can argue now Drew is starting to do something like this. CM Punk has been the only person in WWE for the last really 4 to 5 months who has had this shades of gray story going on with his opponents. He's the only one. No one's cheering the New Day. The people who are cheering Roman Reigns are doing it without knowing that he's never apologized. This is not a story of blurry heel and face dynamics. It's a question of who does it too much in which stories. And right now, the Punk stories are the only ones truly in WWE that are being made to feel as if you're picking your guy, but everyone else, you're either going to boo him or you're going to cheer him. Like you're either fully behind them 90% or you're not. Punk's the only guy that 50-50s all of his opponents right now because he's gotten to that point. Because he's had all that shit flung at him from fans, smart fans, internet fans, whatever fans. So it's all out there. He's the only guy who's really got that. And then he gets to bring that into everything else that he does. That's what that is.
Sure. We've talked about it. Anyway, back to the actual meat of this promo.
Conversation here.
Did you feel anybody won this promo? Were you like, oh, I'm siding with this person. This person made better points than this person.
No, I think both of them came off pretty shitty in their own ways. I do. I think both of them came off pretty shitty in their own way. But that's part of the story of how Rollins and Punk are so close to each other without really knowing it. And this is something that Phil Lindsay from Grapsity has been talking about for a while, and he's been spot on in my opinion, is that Punk and Rollins are very similar personalities. They're just different generations. They're almost 10 years apart. That's what this is. So for Punk, he comes out and he starts saying some shitty things about Rollins, about not being, being whiny or being little bro. And then Rollins, and that's a shitty thing to do. And then Rollins fires back with, LOL, you and your wife don't have kids, and I do, therefore I'm better than you. And at that point, like, that got a few people talking, and I think rightfully so. I do like they're both, again, like Ryan's saying, they called each other out on their faults and they made each other look like assholes. I think that's a very succinct way of putting it. They both are similar, but they're trying to be right and vindicated in their own beliefs. So nobody won. They both looked like assholes, but because there are some fans who are very much behind one guy, and there are some fans who are very much behind the other guy, that for some reason creates a who do you cheer for mentality. Same thing happened with Drew with Punk. Drew was justified with his feelings. Punk was justified with his feelings. There was history. There was a crescendo. That's what you do. And that's what we're doing with Seth and Punk. So no, but nobody won. Both men look pity and shitty, but that's how this match is being made.
Let me ask you the actual important question there. Do you want to see the match more after this?
No, it didn't change whether or not I wanted to see the match. I've wanted to see the match.
All right, so you were already at like...
I wouldn't say I was at like 10 out of 10, I need to see it. I was more like, this was inevitable. This match was inevitable. This match was inevitable since Punk came back to WWE last year. It was on the cards. It was going to happen, and then Punk got injured and it didn't happen. Things, ebbed and flowed based on availability and injury and all that. So it's nice that there's a little more WWE story for them to pull from. I like that there's an extra year of, you did this while I did this to tell. But no, again, this was inevitable. So for me, I'm looking forward to the match. I'm looking forward to how they lay out the match. I'm also looking forward to how the crowd reacts to both men in the match. I'm not gotta watch the work rate. I want to see what the story is in the confines of this match. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
How about you?
I wanted to see it more after this promo. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a good match or not. I think Punk is still very good. I think Seth is good, but sometimes Seth can get too much into, I got to do a bunch of stuff. And I don't know if this is the match where you got to do a bunch of stuff. Like, this is a match where you can go a little bit more basic. And I know people will be upset about that. Like, well, why don't you just do a bunch of stuff? I do think Seth will break out a lot of his, bigger stuff and everything. But it made me more excited because I hope we don't really get that kind of Seth of go out, do strong work rate stuff. This isn't a match that calls for that. This should be more like a fight. Like one of the, and I don't know if Seth can pull that off. That's the other thing. I don't know if Seth can pull it off. I know Punk can pull it off because that Eddie Kingston CM Punk match was like a fight. And it's honestly might be my favorite Punk match from his AEW run. But that's the kind of like bitterness and hatred that these two have that I would like to see in the match. And I don't know if they're going to do that. Again, I don't know if Seth can fully pull that off. Like Eddie Kingston's Eddie Kingston. Yeah, he can pull that shit off. And CM Punk was a willing dance partner for that match. But it did make me more excited of, okay, let's see these two guys like go at it, but not go at it so much in a wrestling sense. Go at it more as of like an actual fight. Again, I don't know if they're going to pull it off. I don't know if they're going to try to do that. They might just go out there and just do a wrestling match and it'll be really good and they'll get the crowd invested and everything. But I would like to see kind of elements of these two dudes really do hate each other. Because with what they said to each other last night, was there some... I don't know how much planning went into, hey, I'm going to say this, like this is off limits, don't say this type of thing. I imagine there's some elements to that. I always think there's some elements to that with anything in wrestling because it's all about trust and stuff. But also, was there a lot of truth to it? Yes, that's what makes it so compelling is you do put a lot of the truth. It's the same thing with Punk when he was in AEW is when he was going back and forth with MJF and John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. There was a lot of truth in those. But that's what made it all very compelling. So yeah, there was a lot of truth into what they said, but obviously there was some trust into what they said. But I do imagine there's some true animosity and some true feelings between them. Does that mean they're not going to be able to work together? Clearly not. They're going to work together. But there's some real disdain for each other. And I hope that shines through in the match. And it's not just... let's go do a wrestling match.
I don't think this match ends 100% clean. There's another side to this whole story, and that is you have a tribal combat match, and you now have a last woman standing match for the Women's World Championship. They're not going to add a stipulation to this match because I think that would be overkill. But I think that there will eventually be some sort of street fight, something like no disqualification type of match with these two. So I think that this match on Netflix, it's going to be not traditional, but it either is going to end as like a maybe a double count out or something like that. They beat each other so bad. Or it's going to be
not in the main event.
That's the problem. Or it's going to be like a slippery finish, not slip on a banana peel, but like a double pin or someone has a foot on the ropes. There's just some errant finish. I don't think it's going to be 100% clean. I don't.
I disagree. We'll obviously see who's right a week from now. I think you're going to get about as clean as you're going to get in this match. I don't think they're going to start off Netflix main event and do some screwy nonsense. Fair. I think that's a disservice to the fans. I really do. I think it's a disservice to the fans. I would have Seth win.
Sorry, I was going to push back. I don't think it's a disservice. I think that's Monday Night Raw. you're going to have a bunch of matches that are going to end without some sort of tomfoolery, presumably.
But you're already going to do a bunch of run-ins during the tribal combat. You're
Yep.
going to do a bunch of run-ins during the last woman standing. Like, you got to just do a straightforward, really good, really compelling wrestling match and give somebody the victory. And that's it.
I think you're going to get enough of that throughout the night that they'll find a way to make this.
Are you though?
I think so. A tribal combat aside, you're going to have the big debut. Penta is going to team with Rey Mysterio. Let's face that. That's almost certainly what's going to happen there. But I think there's going to be something that doesn't make this 100% clean, and that they'll revisit it somewhere down the line, like the pretty soon future.
I'm not saying maybe somebody cheats and that.
I don't think anyone from outside is getting involved.
Okay,
I don't think, and I think
but you're talking about like double pin or foot under the rope type.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I think is what the finish will be, is something that's not 100% clean that leads to them having to do this match again somewhere down the line. They lead to a little bit of like, yeah, you beat me, but the referee didn't see this. This is going to have title implications. These two are going to eventually be the guy who goes up against Gunther and possibly dethrones Gunther. That's where I see this going. So you have to do this. You will have to get this to a definitive state, but I don't think that this first match is it.
I think Seth should win. But if Seth is if he's going to be your baby face out of this, then he can't like cheat or anything, because that's going to immediately make him heel. Punk, like, I don't know who's going to be sort of babyface heel coming out of this. I know Punk can get away with neither, but Punk is also positioned babyface. He is. He's feuding the Drew stuff. He was complete babyface. This is a little bit different because Seth has always been positioned babyface. Punk, though, helping Roman, all of that was being positioned as a babyface. Seth cheats, that basically positions him as the heel. I think Seth can win, and he can cheat. And he can say, this is what you got to do. You forgot all of that. Yeah. Sometimes you got to take these shortcuts, whatever it might be. If that's where they want to go with it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if they do. I don't know. Because if you're building Punk and Roman, Punk's probably not losing this match. I just don't like the idea of not really having a definitive winner, a foot on the rope stuff, or don't do a double pin. God, do not do a double pin.
Hey, y'all know how I feel about double pins. You got to do it a very specific right way to get there.
Don't do a double count out, double DQ. Like, no, don't do any of that. If you want to do somebody cheats, or you know what they should do, Joel? Here's an idea for you. Okay.
I hope it ends with a fiddler.
Should tie it all back around. I've actually got a different callback for you. They should just do a clean finish, and Seth Rollins wins, and that's it. Seth wins. Maybe he cheats, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. He just wins. And then after the match, CM Punk attacks him. He goes off on him. He brutalizes him with a chair. And then he gets on the mic and he cuts a promo just running down Seth Rollins. It's like the new pipe bomb promo. But you can only see what happens after the match on social media, because the Netflix audience does not deserve to see the aftermath.
That's right. 50,000 people in the dome need to see it on socials. It's a special moment for them. First Raw on Netflix. They only get to see this Punk's pipe bomb. Then socials can see it afterwards. Huge numbers. Speaking of huge numbers, we got to get out of here. We've been here.
Shoves
like
an
I said,
ice cream bar down.
straight up his ass.
Yeah.
Not where you were going, but sure.
No, I was just saying down his throat. You're saying up his ass.
You know, Happy New Year to all.
He's going to shove the ice cream bar so far down his throat that it comes up his ass.
Listen, we've gone Grapsity levels of length on the show. I'm done. Oh, man. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
You said you were going to say nice things about me at the end, right?
I mean, I did. So this year, I usually do like a little video. I'll put it on socials. Probably will still. This year has been a lot of ups and a lot of downs for me, especially. I lost my dad earlier in the year. Got to do a lot of really cool stuff with media. Got to do this show and got to yell at the chat, love the chat, enjoy the chat, yell at them more, and engage with you guys. And I asked the other day, I'm like, why do y'all listen to us? And some people replied with some really nice things, and I do appreciate it because there are days where I'm like, I have no idea why the hell I do this shit. But I want to thank everyone for a great year of chatting and doing this show and being around. I've said it before, you know, just kind of off cuff. Working with Jeremy is one of the easiest and most frustrating things to do at the same time because you are because you're so goddamn factual, but you're also very much on it.
Really?
But I get, yes. And also sometimes you fucking filibuster me and it bugs me. Anyway, the point is there's no one else I get to or enjoy doing this show with. And there's no other chat that I get to enjoy interacting with. And I want to say thank you because sometimes I'm absolutely burnt out on this shit and I'm like, I need a break. And I don't always take breaks. I'm busy with family stuff, but this year has taught me a lot and it's given me a lot. So I just want to say thanks. And I hope for everybody that if your 2024 was difficult, that this next year is easier, or at least that you're sowing the seeds to have a better year. I know I'm working on that myself, and we all deserve some good stuff to happen in the next immediate future, hopefully. But again, I thank you to everyone. Thank you, Jeremy. Believe it or not, I do appreciate you greatly. And love you guys. Really do. Can we go home? Sometimes I say it.
I already said I appreciate you last week. I don't feel like doing that again. Let's see.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I was about to choke on my own cough there.
Words? You choke on your own words?
Choke on something. But if you're ready to get out of here, I'm ready to get out of here too.
It's the final episode of 2024. Let it be known that Joel is a coward and running from the grind and not doing a show tomorrow when I was fully prepared to do a show.
Sounds like a you problem, pal.
I'll be back on Thursday with an episode of The Spotlight. I guess we'll be back on Friday. We're doing a show on Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday's on. And then we're back to our normal schedule.
Okay. Oh, Monday's show is going to be really fun when I have no sleep.
And we're doing main channel.
Yeah. I think we did that last year. That's fine.
That's true. It's a Netflix day, too.
Oh, Monday's show is going to be something.
It's going to be fun.
It'll be good. It'll be good. No, I don't have anything, but since I know it's not, I don't know what I did. I know it's not Friday, but it's the final episode of 2024. So let's ring in the new year.
Mana, the final boss. And here we go. This is how good. The final, god damn, that's good shit.
And here we go. Because this is how good. God damn, that's good shit.
For Jeremy Lamberts, I am Joel Pearl for the last time in 2024.
Mana!
Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, be safe. Have fun tonight. If you're going to bed early, sleep very well. If you're going to bed late, sleep in extra long. Till then, we'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year. Cheers.